is a beautiful, cool evening at Edison International Field of Anaheim, where tonight it's Angels baseball on Fox Sports Net. Tonight it's the final game of a brief two-game series between the Baltimore Orioles and the Anaheim Angels. And hi, everybody. I'm Steve Physioc. This is the Wonder Dog Rex Hudler. Baltimore won Game 1 last night by a final score of 4-3. It was the Angels' 7th one-run loss this year. And, Rex, when you're that close, sometimes the smallest of mistakes can really turn you back.
All the games this past week, Steve, have been nail-biters. And Ken Bottenfield last night's game was just cruising along until one mistake to, of all people, Mike Bordick. Now, Bordick is a different hitter than he used to be. He's hitting for power. That's his 8th home run, Steve, and he's leading that team.
Meantime, for the Angels, Mo Vaughn continues his American League Player of the Week pace. 2 more hits, 2 more RBIs.
And Mo Vaughn, we're starting to see the real Mo Vaughn. He's healthy. The leg injury is healed on his ankle. He's starting to hit that ball like he can. Now we're into May. He's getting his timing down, and he's an exciting hitter to watch.
And the next 3 games will be awfully important by the Angels starting pitchers because they go with the young guns. And starting tonight, our Mercedes pitching matchup has 26-year-old Scott Schoenweiss on the hill for the Halos. His record 4-2. You see what his numbers were in the first 5 starts and what he's done the last 3. Pat Rapp, strong early. He's been sour of late. For Schoenweiss, he would love to get the kind of defense that Ken Bottenfield got last night, because Schoenweiss has Erstad in left field, and Darren made this home run saving catch last night. We'll be right back. We welcome you back for the final game of this 2-game series between the Baltimore Orioles and the Anaheim Angels. The Angels come in at 19-21. They take out Baltimore 17-21. And here's your Lexus lineup. Brady Anderson will lead things off. He'll be followed by Mike Bordick and then Delino DeShields. Albert Bell is the right fielder cleaning things up. Then Jeff Conine. And then future Hall of Famer Cal Ripken Jr., one of only 7 players in the history of Major League Baseball to get over 3,000 hits and over 400 home runs. B.J. Surhoff bats 7th. Then Charles Johnson and Rich Amaral plays left field. And on the mound for the Angels, the lefty, Scott Schoenweiss.
Scott Schoenweiss is looking to rebound, Steve, from his previous 2 outings. He struggled a little bit, but he has a very nice sinker. When he doesn't try to overthrow it, it works very well, and he uses his defense behind him to record the outs. Got to keep the ball down. That's the key for Schoenweiss.
Well, he started 4-0. Scott is 0-2, though, with an 8.53 earned run average in his last 3 starts. He has walked 19. He has struck out 20. The walks must come down because he is a control pitcher, and it will be important that he get the strike calls from home plate umpire Rich Rieker.
He's had some command problems with some of his pitches in the last 2 outings, but I mean 4-0, Steve. The guy started out, Bob. He's only human. He's going to give up a little bit of runs occasionally.
Well, he has a fine defense behind him. You saw Darren Erstad's catch last night going over the wall and robbing Jeff Conine of a home run. Garrett Anderson in center field. Tim Salmon is in right. Glaus, Gill, Kennedy, Vaughn on the infield, and Benji Molina will keep him close. He has thrown out 50% of would-be base stealers this year, 2nd in the American League.
That's getting near Pudge Rodriguez numbers.
And Schoenweiss very clever on the hill. I mean, he has a good pickoff move, and he is quick home. The first guy he will face is the veteran Brady Anderson. And Brady, 36 years old, from Carlsbad, California, former Boston Red Sox 10th round pick in 1985, and it is out of nearby University of California, Irvine. And Brady, former anteater, hit a home run off Schoenweiss earlier this year.
Had some leg problems this year early in the spring, but he runs well.
Brady loves to go out first pitch, even to start a ball game, and he lines one to left field.
In order for the Angels to stop all the nail-biting games that have been happening this past week, they're going to have to get off early and get some runs in there. And on that board first, there's Mike Scioscia. He's concerned that his team, you know, they're losing some of these 1-run games and 2-run games, but he also likes what he's seeing from his team, Steve.
No question, they were ahead 3-1 last night, and then Baltimore rallied and overtook them and won the game 4-3. But what concerned Mike was they didn't come up with the clutch RBIs. They left 12 runners on base. Here's Mike Bordick. He's been the offensive star early in 2000. You saw that .331 average. Leads the club in home runs, leads the club in RBIs from your shortstop position. And we're not talking about Alex Rodriguez or Derek Jeter or Nomar Garcia-Parra. This guy, they went out and got because he is a fine defender. Schoenweiss comes up and in. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Second place in the batting order is perfect for Gordon. He can hit behind the runners. Brady Anderson, he can protect him with a bunt. He handles the bat well. He'll also hit for power. I'm looking for him to continue this banner-like season, Steve. He's really coming to his own late in his career.
Schoenweiss brings it home, and Brady Anderson laces one to right field, and the first 2 Orioles are on in this first inning. Schoenweiss somehow must stop the bleeding right here, and it's the number 3 hitter, Delino DeShields, and then Albert Bell. Buddy Black, he knows he wants that sinker ball working here, get the double play, get out of trouble, because with a young pitching staff like Schoenweiss, like Washburn, and with Jared and with Jason Dixon, well, sometimes when you get in trouble, you start pressing, and that is what the Angels would like to see Schoenweiss stay away from. DeShields takes a strike.
Key is to throw strikes, Steve, from Schoenweiss. He's got to get ahead of the hitters, but it's where you put them. Got to be able to keep the ball down, hit the corners early. He wants to establish his fastball. He's got to do it on both sides of the plate. He'll have a tough time doubling up Delino DeShields, who runs extremely well from the left side.
1 ball and 1 strike. Mike Hargrove, who helped Cleveland to so many American League Central championships, now in his first year with Baltimore. Only Tom Kelly and Bobby Pax had longer tenures with their ball clubs. The ball is fouled back and out of play. I mean, Mark with the Cleveland Indians for a long, long time. Tom Kelly has been with the Minnesota Twins since 1987. Bobby Cox since the mid-'80s with the Atlanta Braves. 5 division titles, 2 pennants. Went to that World Series that almost beat the Florida Marlins until that last hit by Edgar Renteria. The 1-2. DeShields sends a ground ball. Benji Gill. They've got a chance for 2. There's 1. DeShields too quick. He's safe at first. Well, that will bring to the plate Albert Bell. And the first time Bell came up last night, started the second inning, and he launched one. A pitch that was drifting low and away, and he hit it out to left field for a 1-0 lead. So here comes Bell, and he is just starting to get comfortable. Those numbers, not where you would expect them. Here's a guy who has averaged 39 home runs a season the past 8 years.
This short little 2-game series, they would kind of like Albert to stay calm and to stay in that little slumber he's been in and just get on out of town. But he might wake up. And when he does, he's got good control of his bat. He hits home runs to all fields. And he plays a decent right field. Sometimes he'll have moments where he'll have a little lax in concentration, but throws well. And he shows up every day. Hargrove, can count on him to be in that lineup. He takes good care of himself.
Schoenweiss with the 1-0, and Albert swings and drives to the center field. This will get the run in as Brady Anderson tags, and Garrett Anderson throws to the infield. It's 1-0 Baltimore.
That's all Albert wanted to do. Just knock in that run. Sacrifice fly. He's a professional hitter. He's been doing it for years. And there's another one, Harold Baines, right behind him. 20-year veteran.
Well, they've led the majors in RBIs during the 1990s. His first base coach, Eddie Murray, led it in the decade of the 1980s. So Albert Bell with 1,095 in the last 10 years. There's Eddie Murray, a great RBI machine, and had 504 home runs in his career. DeShields always a threat to go. 12 stolen bases this year.
He'll try to pick a pitch and go, and you see move on. He doesn't stay on the base. He does that for a couple different reasons. He gives him a little bit more range in case the ball is hit, but mainly just to distract the runner. Give him a different view.
The Shields does not go, and the pitch misses outside for ball one. Conine came up with the game-winning sacrifice fly, and it was the first pitch he saw from Mark Physioc, and he ripped it to left. Erstad went over the wall to rob Jeff of a 3-run homer.
Conine said he just fell short. He felt good off the bat.
Runner goes. The throw by Molina is not in time. A steal for Delino to Shields, his 13th this year.
He saw Schoenweiss, measured him up on one pitch, and gets a nice jump. He's stealing all the way. As you can see, he didn't peek back to see what the hitter was doing. Benji Molina got rid of it. Comes up there, and he gives it a good throw. Nice pick by Kennedy. Kennedy with his foot in front of the base there tried to block the Shields off of it. Now the Shields is there with scoring position with 2 outs.
And that ball laced to center field and deep, and it is over the head of Garrett Anderson. In comes to Shields. It is now a 2-0 lead, and Conine with the double. So Scott Schoenweiss continues his struggles that we've seen over the last now 4 games. He had allowed just 12 runs the first 5, but check this out.
You can't throw a major league hitter that ball and expect him to hit that 2 and out all the time. Sometimes they do, but that ball was up in the zone. Schoenweiss was lucky that Conine didn't hit a 2-run homer on that pitch.
Well, before today, Schoenweiss allowed only 5 hits in the first inning all year, but he has already given up 3 in this inning. Now Cal Ripken Jr. Cal, coming back from that back injury, he has not played the last 4 games and is day-to-day with scar tissue inflammation in his back. And he told you yesterday that he really didn't feel comfortable playing yesterday, but he was going to try to go today, and here he is in the lineup. Ripken down the line. That could be extra bases. The run will score easily. Erstad with the throw to second base. It is not in time. A double for Cal.
Well, there's no question about Cal's back injury on this hit, because Erstad hustled after the ball like he always does, and Ripken challenged him. The ball was down the way. Ripken slaps it by a diving Glaus. Nice try by Glaus, just misses it. And Ripken, watch Ripper. He just challenged Erstad. He sees the play in front of him. Now watch him hook slide. Pretty slide. Junior amazes me, Steve. Playing the game the way it's supposed to be played. I mean, he showed me the scar on his lower back. It's about 6 inches long. I mean, playing with a back injury is not easy. Here he comes. First at bat after missing a few games, and RBI double.
Now B.J. Suroff, and he waves at the off-speed pitch. Strike 1. B.J.'s been in a slump. But the Angels starting pitchers, the next 3, I mean, they're all young pitchers. And remember, with Kent Bottenfield, the leader, he gave him a quality start last night, and the Angels lost 4-3. So a challenge, really, on Anaheim. I mean, Schoenweiss, who's 26, Washburn, who's 25, Dixon, 27, and there's Bottenfield, who's 31. Those 3 starters, though, Schoenweiss, Washburn, and Dixon, combined for only 5 wins last year. This is not a lot of experience. Getting out of jams is something new.
Last night's victory. There's Tim Belcher, who threw off the mound this afternoon, said he felt fine.
Only threw fastballs, threw for 10 minutes, and they said Tim will throw again on Saturday. Reported no problems. Surhoff sends one to left field. Garrett Anderson will run it down, but 3 runs come across on 4 hits off Scott Schoenweiss. We head to the bottom of the first, and the Angels have to come back again. Baltimore with a 3-0 lead over the Anaheim Angels, bottom of the first inning. And here's a look at the Angels' Lexus lineup. They'll lead things up with Darren Erstad, who leads the American League in batting at .375. Hitting second is Adam Kennedy. And then there's the American League Player of the Week, Mo Vaughn. 8 home runs in May. That leads everybody in the major leagues. Tim Salmon is fourth, then Garrett Anderson, Troy Glaus, Scott Speeze, Benji Molina, and Benji Gill. How about Pat Rapp?
Well, the Rapp on Rapp is he throws a nice cutter. Good cut fastball. Curveball and a changeup. Cutter, that ball dances and moves all night long on all of his pitches. He relies on his off speed, and he too, like Scott Schoenweiss, must keep the ball down to be effective.
Well, he's a veteran pitcher, now 32 years old, 6'3", 215, from Sulphur, Louisiana. Sulphur, Louisiana. I wonder how it smells there. A town named Sulphur.
Yeah.
Went to Hines, Mississippi Junior College, and went to Southwest Louisiana. And Rapp throws up high and away. 2 balls and no strikes.
The Angels, they've been coming back all year long. This 3-0 lead here in the first is nothing.
But it's not something that Mike Scioscia wanted to do. I mean, this club is just coming back, and they've had some unbelievable rallies on this homestand, but they're only 3-5 on the homestand. And that is hurt. And Mike Scioscia said it wears you out after a while.
You know, it puts a lot of pressure on the offense. You know, every game, time after time, they're having to come back. It'd be nice if you know, the hitters won't say it, but they'll say to themselves, amongst themselves, you know, one time shut somebody out. You know, there's a thing between the pitchers and hitters, you know, usually over the course of a year, so it's sensitive, and a hitter would never say that to a pitcher.
Erstad sends one to right center field. Albert Bell racing over, and the ball's going to drop. And Erstad is on second base. Well, Mr. Scorekeeper, what's your call on that one?
That's a knock. That's a double all the way. Miscommunication out there. Brady Anderson, he's the man who has to run Albert off this ball. And Albert thought he was going to take it. Brady thought Albert was going to take it. And the center fielder has priority over the right fielder. So Brady just assumed that Albert was going to catch it. Brady's got to be hauling that guy off.
Erstad gets the double. And there's a bunt try by Adam Kennedy. And it is strike one.
That ball that Erstad hit was right in between both of them, and it held up just long enough to cause some communication problems.
It's interesting that the first play that involves the scorekeeper, Ed Munson, is Darren Erstad, who caught one in the lights last night, got charged with an error. I talked to Darren before the ball game and said, yeah, I heard what Hud was saying. He goes, I appreciate that. But he goes, you know what? The guy didn't score, so it's just a statistic. I don't care.
Well, it got me worked up.
Yes, it did. And he appreciates your giving him support.
Well, Adam Kennedy's looking to move him over to third here.
And Adam rips it to right field. And that will hop up against the wall. Erstad scores easily. Kennedy into second with a double. And it is 3-1.
In the first inning, the Orioles top 2 hitters, single. Now the Angels' top 2 hitters, double. And Kennedy gets the ball that he likes right over the middle of the plate. Rapp left it up. This kid, he can turn on a fastball if it's up in the zone. And they just passed the baton, changed places. Look at Erstad saying, all right, I'll take that.
A double by Erstad, a double by Kennedy, and here comes the hottest hitter in the American League the last 8 days, Mo Vaughn. And there have been some hot ones, but as far as power goes, it's been Vaughn. 6 home runs in the last 8 games. 13 are tied for third in the American League as that big guy from Oakland and Ivan Rodriguez, Jason Giambi and Ivan Rodriguez are tied for the American League lead with 16. Curveball stays high.
That's Rapp's first attempt at an off-speed pitch, and he might have to throw a few more of those because his cutter's not cut His fastball's not moving yet. It's still early. It's the first inning, and it takes the pitcher a little while to get the gauge.
Ground ball by Vaughn. It goes off the glove of Conine. Kennedy will come home, and the Angels are within one. Well, Baltimore, the last 4 years, has been the top fielding team in the American League, but tonight, a mistake in right field, a mistake at first base.
Well, he might have just laid back and let this ball play him. He sits there, and that's exactly what happened. Sometimes when you take a step back, you got to go attack that ball. Now, Conine's a good fielder. He just let this ball play him. Look, the ball got way deep on him. You got to catch that ball out in front. He just missed it.
So now the tying run is at second base here in the bottom of the first inning, and Tim Salmon will come to the plate.
The Angels are getting a chance to manufacture some runs.
Salmon goes after the first pitch. It is strike one. So it's an E3 all the way. No RBI for Mo Vaughn. He still has 37 on the year, but look what Tim has done on this homestand. Only 167, and he has been taking extra batting practice. He's been alone in the batting cage underneath Edison International Field at times, just working on getting out of this slump. And he sends it to right field and deep. Back goes Bell. Off the wall. Here comes Vaughn. He'll come charging home to tie the game.
They are in a track meet, passing that baton. And the reason it is, Steve, I said the key to success for both of these pitchers, you've got to keep the ball down, and they're leaving that ball out over the plate.
Well, they pulled a Magic Johnson in his ball game. They have a triple-double for the Angels this inning. 3 doubles in the first inning.
Well, I like this from Tim Salmon. He went the other way, took the outside pitch, and drove it off the wall. That's a good sign. He didn't try to pull it. If he tries to pull that ball, he pops it straight up. And Rapp's last start against the Red Sox, you know, he only went 3 innings.
And he gave up 4 runs on 7 hits. But really, he's been pretty solid outside that. You know, 6 innings against Cleveland, Kansas City, Tampa Bay to start the year. Into the 5th, into the 6th against Texas. He went 7 2/3 2 starts ago against the Yankees. Lost that ball game 3-1.
Another hitting exhibition, looks like so far tonight's game. Fasten your seatbelts.
Well, the Angels have come roaring back after Scott Schoenweis gave up 3 runs in his half of the first inning.
Got to make him feel good.
Garrett Anderson takes curveball outside, ball 1. And I know you were talking with Mickey Hatcher a lot, the Angels hitting instructor, before the ball game, about the approach by GA, and he likes the fact he's going to right field. Left field, excuse me, opposite.
That's right. And no one's too concerned about Anderson or Salmon. It's May. These guys are healthy. They can hit. I mean, Anderson's home run production's up at 8 already this year. I mean, he's doing his job. He's knocking in some runs.
And the one thing that Mickey said he likes is the fact that he is hitting the ball hard. And he said what you don't want to have happen is that you get frustrated by a lot of line drive outs.
That's right. I mean, but that's part of the game. Mickey knows it. Garrett Anderson's been in the game long enough to know that. And eventually they'll even out. I mean, he has 28 RBIs. That's second on the team. That's pretty good production.
Garrett chops one right back to Pat Rapp. Salmon must hold at second base, and Garrett Anderson is out at first. Well, let's finally let you know about this Baltimore defense. In the outfield, B.J. Suroff is a designated hitter, so Rich Amaral will start in left. Anderson and Bell, they are in center and right. Rifkin, Bordick, DeShields, Conine, third to first. And Charles Johnson, a 4-time Gold Glove winner, will be catching Pat Rapp from 95 to 98, and that was before he came to the league that has Ivan Rodriguez.
There's Charles Johnson doing the catching tonight and most every night, and his backup is Greg Myers, former Angel.
Riverside guy. Here's Troy Glaus. curveball just misses high. 2 balls and no strikes.
His fastball's up in the zone, and the curveballs he's thrown have all been up in the zone, too. Not a good sign for Rapp. He's going to have to make some adjustments. And if you're going to make the first out like Anderson did, you would rather move Salmon to third.
Glaus sends it foul out of play. Now it's 2 balls and 1 strike.
After a rally, if you're going to make it out, he wanted to move the runner, but he just missed.
Looked like he was trying to pull the ball on the ground and just didn't get enough to pull and hit it right back to the pitcher.
They've given Sean Weiss 3 runs to knot it up here, and would be happy if they could get another one.
Glaus fouls it straight back, 2-2.
This game is just beginning. There's a long way to go, and Sean Weiss has to concentrate on his game and staying in his game. Sometimes when there's a long delay, you know, and they're sitting in that dugout, they're cooling off a little bit. Might take him a little bit longer to get loose when he gets out there.
That is low and in the dirt, 3-2. Talking with Buddy Black in the past, he said that is the hardest thing for a young pitcher to do, is put the frustrating times in the background. He says it's a 0-0 ball game right now. You're right back to even. There's pitching coach Buddy Black, who was successful with Kansas City and San Francisco. And that pitch misses, ball 4. So the first walk by Pat Rapp. And Glaus is on, and that is the 29th walk by Glaus this year, and that leaves the ball club.
Well, that was a patient at bat. Rapp wasn't about to throw him a fastball 3-2 down the middle. Power hitter like Glaus, he knew, so he challenged him with a curveball. Some guys that are over-anxious would swing at that pitch. It'd be an easy out. Instead, he draws a walk and passes the baton to Speeze.
Scott, the hero from Sunday afternoon. His home run in the bottom of the 9th inning with 1 out was his first walk-off piece home run in the big leagues. And the Angels won 7-6 over the Texas Rangers, splitting that series 2 wins each. Physioc fouls it back. 1 ball, 1 strike.
He loves the fastball, so he'll look at one, and just then he came out of his shoes. He's getting an opportunity to be the designated hitter for the first time in his career, and he's platooning. He's getting all the right-handers, and Edgar Clemente is getting all the left-handers.
Scott does have power, and he takes a strike. And he has an interesting note about Scott. He needs 1 home run to match his father in career home runs. Scott has 38 in parts of 5 seasons. His dad, Ed, hit 39 from 1964 to 1972 at Speeze, and they grew up in Illinois. Scott takes low. Salmon doubled, and it was his double that tied the game. Driving in Mo Vaughn. Glaus just walked. 1 out. We're in the 1st inning. Speeze takes high, 3-2. And this is another guy who won't chase a bad pitch. Scott Speeze pretty disciplined at the plate.
He's got 19 walks and 97 at-bats.
Scott takes outside, ball 4, and the bases are loaded. And the help that brings is now a fly ball. Can score Tim Salmon and break this 3-3 tie. Still just 1 out, 1st inning.
We'll check out this outside pitch. Charles Johnson tries to frame it up. For home plate umpire Rich Rieker. The pitch tracks show it was inside by a few inches. 1 inch.
Pitch tracks by Questech.com. Now Rapp must face number 8 hitter Benji Molina. He's got to keep the ball down to the red-hot hitting Molina. I say that because Benji does not run very well. He'll be an easy guy to double if Benji hits the ball on the ground.
Molina's in a good situation here with 1 out to try to score a run or 2.
Fouls it back, 1-1.
He wants a pitch just like that, up in the zone to try to get it airborne. Molina doesn't run very well. Last thing he wants to do is hit the ball on the ground. It'd be an easy double play. You can see where the Orioles defense is playing it pretty much straight away. Brady Anderson's a slight pull in center.
Low and away, 2 balls and 1 strike. And we're only in the first inning, and Rapp is a veteran. He knows how to work out of difficulties, but maybe Sammy Ellis sees something that's wrong. So they've already had Jose Mercedes jump up in the bullpen and start to warm up in the bottom of the first inning. Molina swings and rips it to left, and that is a foul ball, just barely. Wow. About 8, 9, 10 feet to the right, Molina would have a grand slam.
Well, his top hand was a little dominant on this pitch here. Inside, right over the middle, and you could see his top hand was dominant, therefore he hooked it for a souvenir.
Probably would have been 2 bases, but still, would have scored 2 runs.
That's why you bring your glove to the ballpark. You never know when you're going to make a grab.
So Rapp now with the count 2-2. Bases are loaded. Just 1 out. Bottom of the first inning. Out back by Benji.
That was another pitch that Benji really should have hit. It was right over the middle of the plate. So he'll go back to the dugout if he makes an out and say, well, I got my pitches. I just missed them. The key is not to miss those pitches.
Salmon at third base. Glaus second. Speeze first. A roller to Delino to Shields. This should be 2. Bordick will turn the double play, and the Angels are turned back, but they score 3 to tie this game, and we head to the second inning here in Anaheim. Well, Scott Schoenweiss is back to square one, even with the Baltimore Orioles 3-3.
Here was his first inning, Steve. Pitch tracks will show us. 90 down the middle. Base hit. 91 away, 91 up, and 84 down. And I'm going to tell you, all of these pitches here are very hittable. He's going to have to keep them down in the range, below the knees, in order to record those ground ball outs that he does so effectively when he's on.
That's the slider we were talking about. You could see where Benji Molina was setting up, and that ball started outside and slid right into his glove.
Maybe he'll stop to work that slider a little more. Go with it again. Keep it down, and that's an effective pitch for him. Now he's working ahead. Charles Johnson, like most hitters, like the fastball out over. His power zone is from center field over to left.
In the dirt, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Schoenweiss was right on in those first 5 starts this year, hitting the corners each and every time. But really, the last quality start he had was against these Baltimore Orioles at Camden Yards. Just barely missing low.
So 3-2. He's going to want to come in there somewhere down low. Don't want to start walking guys.
And he started this game with 3 runs in the first inning. And he walks Charles Johnson after his club gave him 3 runs to tie in the bottom of the first inning. He was ahead of Charles Johnson 1-2, and you can see where Scott is already upset with himself.
He's got to put that behind him. Don't show any emotion to the hitters. It's way early in the game. You don't want the on-deck hitter or the guys in the dugout to see you shrug your shoulders and shake your head, because body language is something a hitter feeds off of. Rich Amaral will step in there and take his whacks.
And he does take a whack to right field. It is a base hit. So once again, Baltimore starts beautifully. Runners in first and second, nobody out. Hey, Angel fans, head to your local AT&T store and enter to win for your chance to see the game in style, courtesy of AT&T Wireless Services. You and 9 of your friends could find yourself spending an evening in an Angels dugout suite. The prize includes game tickets, food and other amenities, and puts you incredibly close to the action. Don't miss out. Enter to win today.
So Amaral steps in there, gets a start. His manager, Mike Hardgrove, likes to get him in there. B.J. Surhoff is a designated hitter who normally plays left field, and Amaral comes through with a base hit to right. And here we go again, Steve.
And the first pitch of the ball game by Sean Weiss, Brady Anderson went after and ripped it. And he will lay the bunt down here. Sean Weiss will go to first base, and he is late. The bases are loaded. Oh, my goodness. Scott was very late to the ball. And Buddy Black may go out for a visit because this is really getting ugly.
Well, he looked at third, and you've got to be sure it was a good bunt. And a guy that runs well like Brady Anderson, you don't have time to look. You can see him. He'll look over there. That's too late. He took 2 crow hops to get it over there. And that's you know, if it was a guy who couldn't run as well as Brady, that might have worked. But you got to know your runners early in the game. Go ahead and get an out. You need an out somewhere. Now he's got problems. And Bud Black's saying, hey, forget all about what just happened. Bases are loaded. Bordick's up. Keep the ball down, and we'll get a double play for you.
And this is part of the growth that you've talked about with young pitchers. The old story of, if I only knew then what I know now. And part of knowing later in your career is how to get out of trouble.
And you don't want to give him a big inning, so you take an out. When he bunts it to you, say, okay, there's 1 out. I can get that for sure.
Well, the scoring in the last play, no hit, is a sacrifice bunt and a fielder's choice. Regardless, the bases are loaded for the hottest Baltimore Oriole in Mike Bordick.
I mean, I want to hit on that play, Steve, if I'm the guy who bunted that and I run well.
But he was bunting for a sacrifice, so you have to go with a sacrifice.
Well,
I know
right.
you're an offensive player. If you're a pitcher, you say it's a sacrifice. But you're not. You couldn't throw the baseball, so you got in the box and you knocked the pitcher around. And now you feel you've got an ego and you've got to go out there and strut your stuff. Get off your soapbox.
I'm just telling you what's going through Brady Anderson's mind right now. Brady's going, man, I would love to have a hit on that.
Oh, no question.
But now Bordick is in the driver's seat. Looking for a pitch up he can drive, and he certainly knows how to do that with 8 home runs. He's up on the plate. He likes to pull it.
He broke his bat, lifts it in the air, short left field. Gill makes the catch. No advancement by the base runners, but Benji really backpedaling, did a nice job. Erstad looked like he might have a play on it, but Benji called him off.
You can see this is a jam shot. It's hit up in the air. Now Erstad's coming in charging, but he doesn't say anything. He sees Benji Gill on it, and he decides to let Gill take it. You can see he doesn't say a word. Watch Erstad's mouth. He doesn't say a word. Now that tells the infielder he's got it all the way. If he doesn't hear anything, it's his. Benji Gill would have bailed out at the last minute had Erstad yelled, I got it.
Now Delino DeShields, and he cracks one foul out of play, strike 1. Delino DeShields came in hitting .331, now at .328 after reaching on a fielder's choice. And he beat out a double play ground ball hit to Benji Gill. One and one. Charles Johnson at third base. Second base is Rich Amaral. First base, Brady Anderson. Delino DeShields, who hitting .422 against lefties at the plate. And Delino pops it up. Third base side, Troy Glaus. And I have no idea what Bud Black said to his pitcher, Scott Schoenweiss, but right now, it's working.
He didn't say, hey, get these guys to pop up, but those are 2 outs that it's a dream for Schoenweiss. He couldn't have planned that any better. Because if DeShields hits the ball on the ground, you're not going to double him up. That's a run.
Well, now he has to face the most dangerous hitter in the lineup, in Albert Bell. We all know what he has done. 8 straight years over 100 RBIs. This year, 21, a sacrifice fly back in the first inning.
But last night, when Albert Bell took Kent Bottenfield deep, it was a solo shot. You don't mind Albert coming up with nobody on base. But with bases loaded, Albert's even more dangerous.
Only Jimmy Fox and Lou Gehrig had more consecutive years of 30 home runs and 100 RBIs. He's tied with the great Babe Ruth. And he has 11 career grand slams. Ball 2.
They They pay Albert Bell, Mo Vaughn, hitters like these guys to drive in runs. But when they get ducks on the pond, or that's what ball players like to call it, his eyes light up. So Schoenweiss has stayed away. 2-0 is a good hitting count for the hitter. They have to be careful.
Half foul, 2-1.
That was a good located pitch down low. He hit the top half. That's where he wants to keep the ball, hoping Albert hits it on the ground somewhere.
So Shiitake with Benji Molina.
Look at the concentration.
Albert just missed it, pops it up right side, and it is out of play. And now the count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Schoenweiss has battled back from being down 2-0. Now putting Albert Bell on the defensive, but still he must make a quality pitch.
He needs to throw that slider. A good slider down and in might get Albert to swing over the top of it. Hasn't shown Albert the slider yet tonight. Let's see if Molina calls it.
May have been it right there.
That was it. Anything close with 2 strikes, you can believe Albert's going to be hacking. So Molina will run through a bunch of signs to try to disguise it from Rich Amaral at second base. Sometimes the base runners will relay location or pitch.
Oh, just missing inside. The count is full, 3-2, and Mike Scioscia says, I can't believe that call.
This is right where Schoenweiss wants to put this ball. Down and in. Ooh. And that just missed. 3-2 here. Better not come out over the middle.
Runners go. Bell with a tapper past Schoenweiss. Glaus can't handle it, and 2 runs will score. 2-run score on a slow roller because the runners were going from second and first.
That's the hustle of Rich Amaral. This is the kind of guy that does it all, Steve. He's a guy that does the little things, and he's just screaming around the bases. It's a slow hit. Glaus took a gamble barehanded. He might have went ahead and tried to get that ball with 2 hands and catch it for sure. And look at Amaral almost caught Charles Johnson. Great hustle paid off for the Orioles here.
Well, I have rarely seen that where a guy gets 2 RBIs on a 70-foot hit.
Rarely will you see it, but that man right there, Rich Amaral, is the reason. You're running on the pitch 3-2, but he had it in overdrive the whole way. He was coming hard, and that's what you like to teach in your ball players, is to always give it all you have when you're out there, full throttle. Amaral, he's a utility player, gets to play once a week. He's got a lot of energy, and he's out there putting it out.
But you made a good point about Troy Glaus, because Albert Bell does not run that well. And using the glove, I believe Troy still would have had a play.
He had time. With all the runners running in the commotion, it might have stirred him up a little bit. But you want to make sure of outs. That's the whole key. You've got to get outs. They're so important. The early bunt, sacrifice attempt by Brady Anderson. Schoenweiss took his time, and he was safe.
The runner goes, the throw. Now they'll send the runner home, and they've got Brady Anderson hung up between third and second base, and Troy Glaus will tag him out for the final out of the second inning. But Baltimore scores 2 more runs on a 2-out infield hit by Albert Bell. Bottom of the second inning, Baltimore with a 5-3 lead over the Anaheim Angels. And the Angels will send up hitters 9, 1, and 2. Here in the bottom of the second, Pat Rapp was wrapped around in the first inning where he gave up 3 hits to the Angels. Walked a couple of batters and left the bases loaded before getting a 4-6-3 double play on Benji Molina. Benji Gill takes upstairs ball 1.
Now Rapp is saying, okay, now I have life here in the second inning. It was just a tennis match, lobbing balls back and forth to one another. They're hoping, these pitchers are hoping they don't lob too many more over the plate.
Gill fouls it back. Count goes to 1-2.
Rapp's got him ahead, 1-2. He'll try that off-speed curveball.
And it is lined back up the middle. So the tying run is coming to the plate in the bottom of the second inning. Hey, let's go find out where Billy Mack is tonight.
Well, Fizz, you know, it's interesting. In their search for a utility infielder, the Angels seem to forego the mainland USA. Trent Durrington from Australia was just sent back down to Edmonton. In his place, say hello to Keith Luoloa. Now, Keith is 25 years of age, and he's from the Hawaiian Islands. I'll tell you which specific island in just a moment. He's been working at second, at third, and at short down at Edmonton. When he makes his first appearance, it will be his major league debut. I spoke to him before. What island is he from? The island of Molokai, and he's very proud to say he's the first ever professional athlete from that island. 33rd round draft pick. He's your newest Anaheim Angel. Let's go back upstairs for you guys.
So the man from Molokai has made it to the major leagues. How about that? Keith Luoloa.
Happy to see him. Congratulations, young man. Hope you can stay about 10 more years.
Well, he played very well in spring training this year, and they use him everywhere, in the outfield, in left and right field, second base, which is his natural position, shortstop, and third base.
The way they pronounce his name in Hawaii is Lu'uloa. But I know you like to say Lu'uloa, and that's okay.
Well, that's just the way Keith said it was pronounced. Talked to him before the ball game. Now, if we're going to go to Hawaii, yes, I did. Like Luau, Lu'uloa.
That's fine. We'll talk to him tomorrow, and we'll get it straight, how he wants it to be said.
There you go. We're going to have to wait until Friday. The day off tomorrow. Well, Darren Erstad comes to the plate. He now has 64 hits this year, and that leads the American League. Also leads the league in multi-hit games with 21. Home batting average at .429. Batting average at .379. Ivan Rodriguez went 3 for 4, but Erstad regained that batting lead with his double in the first inning. Boy, it's tough to keep up with the Rodriguezes. Look at that. Ivan and Alex are both hot. I-Rod and A-Rod.
That's right. But Erstad, he's very content. If you ask him, he could give beans about leading the league in batting right now. He's trying to ignite his team, get on base, and score runs. He's a team player, individual accolades and things like that. He's not real concerned about it. Right now, he's looking to try to move Benji Gill around the bases.
And he cracks out to left field. Rich Amalt racing back. The warning track pulls it down. Gill, who is already at second, quickly retraces his steps. So Erstad 1 for 2 in the game. That will bring us to the rookie, Adam Kennedy. He and Ruben Mateo for the rookie race in the American League have had a hit battle all year long, and they came in to tonight's play with Mateo with 50 hits, Adam Kennedy with 49, and he got his 50th in his first at bat with that double to right field. Ball one.
Kennedy continuing to show that he can handle major league pitching here in his rookie season.
Well, he scalded that double in the first inning.
Likes to hit the ball where it's pitched. If it's elevated, he'll take a rip at it.
Well, that's the one pitch he's been trying to lay off of. I mean, they have struck him out several times on that high fastball.
Mickey Hatcher's been trying to work with him, but the ball looks so good when it's up there. It looks very hittable. Unless you're a guy that can knock in, you know, can hit 30, 40 homers a year, they're trying to make you lay off of that.
Adam takes a strike. It's 2-1. Gill led the inning off with a single up the middle. Erstad flied out to left field. Kennedy trying to get on for Mo Vaughn. Strike 2. Rapp threw a lot of pitches in that first inning, 34, and only half of those were strikes. Walked a couple of batters, gave up 3 hits, 1 reached on an error. And time call. Scott Schoenweiss, watching from the Angels dugout, has been roughed up for 5 runs in the first 2 innings. Got into his own jam in that second inning when he had the bases loaded and really threw the pitch to get out of the inning. But Troy Glaus tried to barehand and throw out Albert Bell, and it rolled under his hand, and 2 runs would score, making it 5-3. Kennedy trying to go left field and fouls it off, protecting that plate.
Trying to go with the pitch. Rapp is throwing fastballs away to Kennedy in this at-bat. In his previous at-bat, he let the fastball out over the middle. So location is key. Might try to break one off on him here.
Adam reaches out and punches it to left field, and it is barely foul. That has been the Angel misfortune in this 2-game series. They hit several balls sharply, and either Baltimore made great plays or they were just barely foul.
Keep telling you, Steve, it's a game of inches. You just never know. Games are won and lost by inches.
Benji Molina missed a double by just a few feet with the bases loaded.
Right, that would have been some.
And wound up hitting into a 4-6-3 double play. You know those fortunes will turn. What you do on a consistent basis, how you field, and how you throw strikes. Again, Kennedy fouling it off. Adam is a tough guy to strike out.
He's a scrappy hitter. Maybe I'm checking that bat, seeing if there's a hairline fracture in it. Whenever you foul the ball off the end of the bat, sometimes it'll splinter the bat just a little piece, and you can't hardly see it. Take away from some of the pop it's got in it.
Adam sends it to left field, but right at Amaral. 2 outs. Hey, on Baseball Thursday tomorrow night, Big Mac and the high-powered St. Louis Cardinals battle Scott Rowland and the Philadelphia Phillies. That's tomorrow at 4 o'clock on Fox Sports Net. McGuire's climb towards Hank Aaron's career home run record continues. He recently went yard in his 36th Major League park, tying Fred McGriff for the career record. Scott Rowland hit 2 home runs today. Here's Mo Vaughn, and he takes strike 1. The Phillies beat St. Louis 5-4. Rowland with a couple of bombs in that game. Meantime, in the American League West, Texas victorious over Tampa Bay 11-6, but Oakland lost again to Kansas City 4-3. Seattle leading Minnesota 2-0. And that ball game is in the 3rd inning. Kansas City comes to town next for games Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. All 3 of those games can be seen on Fox Sports Net. And then the Angels hit the road from Minnesota, Kansas City, and Cleveland.
This at-bat there, Rapp's keeping the ball away from Mo. On the outside part of the plate, the outfield's playing him to pull. Infield straight up. You can see Brady Anderson, shade to pull in center.
That time came inside 2-1.
Mo, the fastball's away. He'll go with it to left field on occasions. Where he likes it is the breaking balls that are hang out over the plate or anything in. He doesn't like to miss those. You can see Johnson sitting down the outside part.
Oh, swings and misses. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
It was a nice curve by Rapp. Rapp seems to be settling down in the second here, keeping the hitters off balance and hitting the spots.
Outside corner, strike 3. So the Angels leave Benji Gill at first base. Cal Ripken will come in, and he will bat second when we come back. Top of the third inning, Baltimore with a 5-3 lead over the Angels. You can join the Angels this weekend as they battle the Kansas City Royals from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday is Big Bang Friday with post-game fireworks, and Sunday is Nestle Family Sunday with free ice cream to the first 2,000 kids 12 and under, courtesy of Stouffer's. Tickets are available, and you can call today. And also on Friday night is half-price group tickets on the view level, and that's where groups of 25 or more can enjoy half-price group tickets on view level. And for more information, 714-940-2074 is the number to call. Got some great things going on this weekend. They've got a ceremony for Troy Percival on Saturday at his high school, Moreno Valley High School. Honor Percy in a pregame ceremony. He had his number 14 retired earlier this year.
Haven't seen Percy lately in any games. They need to get him in there.
And the Angels would love to have him tonight. That means he's likely in a save situation, but it's almost getting to the point where Soch may need just to give him some work.
All right, don't want to get too rusty out there. And Conine behind the count, 1-2.
But you watch the success of Mariano Rivera and the New York Yankees the last few seasons. He has a balanced number of appearances that by the time they get to postseason, Rivera is still sharp. And Percival, you know, he is a guy who will work whenever you hand him the baseball. And he would work 5 days in a row if he is asked. But Mike Soch has done a really nice job in controlling that and making sure that he has Percival really healthy later. Now, this is going to be no play, and it is a fair ball, and there's a situation where Scott Schoenweiss should have just let the ball drop.
Well, you need to hear that from your catcher.
Yep.
Your catcher has got to yell, "Let it go, let it go." This is some of the mistakes. Now, Benji Molina looks like he was yelling, "Let it go." You can see, yeah, Benji's going, "I told you." Yes, he was yelling. That's what you do. Schoenweiss is just not thinking right now, Steve.
And out comes Mike Socha, and I believe this is going to be a firm discussion.
Well, that's a base hit. Conine, he'll take it. It's a bad pitch, but it was down the zone. I mean, and Conine offered after it, and it would have been a foul ball had he let it go. Molina was yelling, "Let it go." And now we have a man on first, nobody out, and Mr. Baseball stepping in the box, Cal Ripken Jr.
First time up, Cal double, and it drove in a run. Ripken now with 24 RBIs this year, and he takes high and away. He had 3 hits on April 15th, and that was a magical night. You see where he is in the RBI list. 22nd all time with almost 1,600. With the 3 hits on April 15th, one of them was base hit number 3,000. There's a ground ball hit to short. Benji Gill. Kennedy won. First base double play.
Well, this is what Schoenweiss wanted. Nice turn. Starts with a backhand by Gill. Gets it over to Kennedy. He takes care of the rest. It's one thing the middle infielders can do with this Angels team, and that's turn double plays.
And Cal has more double plays in his career than just about anybody. He tied Hank Aaron with that double play, number 328 in his Hall of Fame career. That ball hit down the line. Glaus won't reach it. And it is just strike one to the number 7 hitter in the lineup, B.J. Surhoff.
Talking about Cal Ripken Jr., you know, that's probably not a mark he's real proud of, but when you play long enough like Cal has, you're gonna get a lot of records that you may not be proud of. But Ripken's longevity is key, and everybody knows about the Iron Man streak. And
And Mr. Aaron wasn't a bad player either, and he had a lot of speed, particularly early in his career. And he played a long time, too. There's Mo Vaughn. He has it. Sean Weiss recovers, and Sean Weiss drops the baseball. Scott's having one of those games. Now, the throw may have been a bit high, but Sean Weiss will tell you he probably should have caught this baseball.
Mo takes his time, gives him a good feed. He looked away, took his eye off it. It's hard. That's a tough play for a pitcher to make. He's got to catch the ball and touch the base at the same time. Now, Mo ranges far to his right. Sean Weiss is looking for the bag. You got to get to the base. You get to the base first and then look for the ball.
Ground ball to Benji Gill. They get the force at second base. Sean Weiss gets out of a jam that he's created himself, but the Angels within 2 at 5-3. That's part of the growing up process in your first year as a major league starter. Scott Sean Weiss, who prides himself on being mentally tough, he has made 3 mistakes in this game, but he knows that he has to erase those from the slate and move on. The Angels in the bottom of the third and still very much in striking distance. Tim Salmon will lead it off. He doubled his first time up, and Tim takes strike 1.
Rapp, he settled down in the second inning, retired the Angels in order. 1, 2, 3. Shut down any kind of momentum the Angels had in the first.
That stays high. 1-1. Rapp doesn't throw much harder than 88, 89 miles an hour. He has to have good control. He's been up in the last 2 pitches. Goes curve to Tim. 2-1.
Talking to Sammy Ellis, the Orioles pitching coach, before the game, he told me that Rapp's ball moves a lot. He has a natural cutter, and I haven't seen a lot of that movement early for Rapp.
Well, maybe that's why Sammy had Jose Mercedes warming up with the bullpen when Rapp had only given up 3 runs. And yes, they were rallying, but maybe Sammy felt that you're right, he doesn't have it. But he was able to battle back and throw a scoreless second inning. And he walks Tim Salmon, the leadoff man. So that's back-to-back innings that he has let the leadoff man reach. Actually, that's 3 in a row. Erstad doubled in the first inning. Gill singled in the last, and here is the walk in the third.
You can see Rapp's has an unorthodox style. Look, watch his follow through here. Kind of has a little hop at the end. He wants to try to get some movement on that fastball. That's key. He's got to get it moving, cutting. That's his big pitch, is his cutter.
One thing I noticed, he has a real stiff front foot. I mean, they teach pitchers to point the toes so there's not as much stress on the thigh. And the reason I say that is because by the 6th, 7th inning, your legs are tired then. If there's tension in the foot area, it's putting stress in the whole leg. But it works for Pat, and he's a big, strong guy at 6'3", 215. Here's Garrett Anderson. GA takes a strike in the outside corner behind the count now, 0-2.
Veteran pitchers who have lasted long in the game or any time over 5-6 years in the game, you know, they're used to their own style and they're comfortable with it. Not everybody has the same delivery. The mechanics are all different, but they try to get the same results, and that's get outs, retire hitters. Anderson 0-2.
This could be 2. Bordick will send it, and there it is, a 3-6-3 double play.
Nice play by Conine to get rid of it quickly to Bordick. This is what made this play. Watch Conine. He just spins, takes the ball right where he caught it, and just spins and throws a beautiful ball to Bordick. They got him in plenty of time. That's why that was successful. Good, quick hands by Conine.
So 2 outs now in the 3rd inning, and the batter will be Troy Glaus, who walked his first time up. One of 3 walks issued by Pat Rapp in this game. Strike 1. Rapp has really bounced around from San Francisco to Florida, back to San Francisco, Kansas City, and Boston. Baltimore is his 5th team. There's a tapper hit to Mike Bordick. Quickly gets that ball out of his hand into first base. An easy inning for Pat Rapp. He shut out the Angels the last two. It is 5-3 Baltimore. Baltimore is a 2-run lead. There's Mike Bordick, one of the most underrated shortstops in baseball.
Steve, this is a routine play and watching. It's beautiful. You can learn from this. Look at, first of all, right here, he catches it. Look where his eyes are, looking at the ball, okay? Then he brings the ball to his belly button, right there, finds the grip. He's getting the grip, but watch his lower body as he does the crow hop. See how he's shifting his feet, getting momentum on the throw towards first base. That's a routine play that every shortstop's got to make.
Benji Gill just made his to start the fourth inning on a ground ball hit by Rich Amaral. And Scott Schoenweiss as the leadoff man out for the first time in this game.
One pitch, one out.
Schoenweiss had come into this inning having thrown 52 pitches, 32 in the zone. Pat Rapp has thrown 66. Here's Brady Anderson. He has singled and scored a run and reached on a sacrifice that loaded the bases back in the second inning. Brady was sacrificing runners Charles Johnson and Rich Amaral to second and third, and Scott Schoenweiss came up, looked at third. By that time, with Anderson's speed, Scott had no chance to get him at first base, and the bases were full. He did a nice job coming back and getting pop-ups to the next two hitters, Bordick and DeShields, and even threw a quality pitch where Albert Bell rolled one to Troy Glaus. Troy thought he had to make a barehanded play, and it went under his hand, and 2 runs would score. Broke the 3-3 tie.
Schoenweiss is pitching Brady Anderson with fastballs in and curveballs away. Comes another curveball.
Good pitch. 2-2. You know, when he takes off, I think when he really learns the changeup, he's going to be an outstanding starting pitcher in this league.
He's learning right now, and he's not doing too badly. 4-2 record. Had a good April, and he struggled here in May.
Right there, and Brady Anderson knows it. It is strike 3. He will turn and visit with Rich Rieker, but Brady, that was a very good pitch. Our Aflac trivia question tonight: who is the only player ever to have a 50 home run season and a 50 steal season in his career? Give you the answer later in the ball game. You know. You played against him. Mike Bordick.
There's that slider knifing down. That's going to be an effective pitch for him. That's a tough pitch for a right-hander to lay off, and you know who's got the best one in the business, Randy Johnson.
Bordick laces one to right. Salmon comes sliding on to make a fine catch. So Schoenweiss with his first 1-2-3 inning of the night, and he gets help from the Angels right fielder.
Out.
Bottom of the fourth inning, Baltimore by 2 over the Anaheim Angels. And here to start the fourth inning, Scott Speeze, Benji Molina, Benji Gill. And Speeze goes after first pitch, and DeShields has it, throws out Scott. 1 out. Our Aflac trivia question, we asked the question, who is the only player ever to have a 50 home run season and 50 steal season in his career? The hint is he likes ants on his menu.
And he plays center field for the Baltimore Orioles.
50 home runs in 1996, by far his best year in the big leagues, and 53 steals in 1992. Brady, the anteater from UC Irvine. Here's Pat Rapp pushing Benji Molina off the plate. Ball 1. Benji was at the plate with the bases loaded, 1 out in the bottom of the first inning, and Pat Rapp was really on the ropes, and Molina rips one foul that barely misses extra bases and would have driven in at least 2 runs. And then he wound up hitting into a 4-6-3 double play. Sends this one foul. It's 2-1.
2-0. Rapp gave him a fastball, but it was well located down and away from Benji Molina there. That's where he's got to continue to do if Rapp wants to stay in this game. But Molina, in that bat you were talking about, he got a couple pitches to hit and he fouled them off.
And he smacks that one high in the air. Center field. Brady Anderson at the wall runs it down.
Molina gave it a ride, but Brady Anderson tracked it down.
All of the scoring early in this game. 3 runs by Baltimore in the first inning, 3 runs by the Angels in the first inning, 2 by the O's in the second. Now Benji Gill here in the bottom of the 4th inning with 2 out. And Benji takes high. Ball 1. This weekend, Kansas City comes to town. Royals for 3 before the Angels hit the road to take on Minnesota next week, then 2 Kansas City and 2 Cleveland. Gill fouls it straight back.
Mike Sweeney and his father, Big Country, will probably make an appearance.
Yeah, that's a pretty good ball club. The Kansas City Royals have taken the last 2 from the Oakland A's, winning by a run last night and winning tonight 4-3 over the A's. Kansas City's record is now 2 games over 500 at 21-19, and they're moving up in that American League Central, chasing the Cleveland Indians, who are second to the Chicago White Sox.
Jermaine Dye. He's having a good season.
Sure, he's got 13 home runs. Gill sends it foul. It will be out of play. 2-2. We told you that Minnesota is down to Seattle 3-0 now in the 5th inning. Texas won. Oakland lost. Texas won 11-6 over Tampa Bay, and Oakland lost to Kansas City 4-3. Meantime, Boston all over Toronto 8-0. And there are your American League West standings. Still just 2.5 games separate first and last. The closest race in Major League Baseball.
Comes inside. Now, Benji Gill's been doing an excellent job playing defense, Steve. They'd like for him to hit a little bit more, and I think he will with a little bit of time. And he's saying, I see that ball out there, Mom. I'm going to hit it someday.
Benji again sends it foul out of play. And in the 8-0 victory by the Boston Red Sox, I'll give you one guess on who was on the hill for the Red Sox.
It wasn't Pedro.
Yeah, he's 7-1 through another shutout. Since he came back from, being suspended, he has been unbelievable. It's almost like he's on a personal mission to show everybody. And it is amazing to believe, and you hate to bring this up, but the Los Angeles Dodgers traded Pedro Martinez for Delino to Shields, and nothing against Delino, but Pedro Martinez might be the best pitcher in baseball right now. Straight up for Pedro. They needed a second baseman. Delino had given Montreal back-to-back 290 seasons. Gill really in a duel with Pat Rapp here from the bottom of the 4th inning. That young couple with a nice catch.
Give that fan a contract.
I like those jackets.
The crowd will get a rise. His jacket. He leans over.
Oh, baby, that's a nice play.
And the crowd will tell you. And his girlfriend is pumped up.
They have those nice Angels jean jackets that are at the dugout store just below us. Great price on them. And they look good.
Yeah, nice play.
Rapp has already thrown 80 pitches in this ball game, and we're just in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Several full count pitches here. And Molina's.
Hey, how about this by Benji? These are the battles, though, that sometimes can just wear out a pitcher. Another 3-2 pitch by Pat Rapp. Gill fouls it off again. This is the 12th pitch coming up between Pat Rapp and Benji Gill. I love these kind of battles because it really shows tremendous strength by the pitcher, tremendous strength by the hitter.
And as Gill fouls off pitch by pitch, he gains more confidence with each one he fouls off, and then he waits for the mistake.
Fouls it off again. So that's 12 alone between Rapp and Gill.
So pitcher just probably says, hey, look, I'm going to take my chances. You're wearing me out. I'm going to throw you one down the middle.
Well, Gill does have some power. Hit 17 home runs last year in the minor leagues. Look at this. 13 pitches Gill has seen.
Well, this is a good at-bat, and also you win regardless here. If he makes an out, he's worn Rapp down even more. It's like a prize fight. Rapp's expending energy, trying to get Gill out. And Gill's saying, I'm fighting you.
Hey, he tapped it foul, went into the glove, then dropped out of the glove of Charles Johnson. That is the 13th pitch. Rapp threw only 10 pitches total in the entire third inning. And here to Benji Gill, he will throw 14 pitches at least.
And Rapp just said something in frustration. Benji Gill is getting to him.
Finally struck him out. Great battle between Pat Rapp and Benji Gill. And Rapp wins in the end on the 15th pitch. Angels baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by your local Southern California Mercedes-Benz Retail Center. Test drive and see the new 2000 models today. By KFC, we do chicken right. And by Toshiba Portables. Choose freedom. Choose Toshiba. Steve Physioc, Rex Hudler, Bill McDonald here at Edison International Field. Delino DeShields will lead things off against Scott Schoenweiss. And Scott brings him strike one. What a great battle between Pat Rapp and Benji Gill. Finally won by Rapp on the 15th pitch. He struck out the Angels shortstop. That's foul off. Very quickly, it is 0-2 Schoenweiss against DeShields.
He just fouled a missile off and just almost took out the Angels coaches. Got to be heads up in these dugouts.
Schoenweiss misses 1-2.
Schoenweiss is going away with the Shields. Curveballs, sliders, fastballs.
Lino fouls it back.
He went up, tried to get him to chase upstairs. DeShields has got some power. He's got 3 home runs this year, 20 RBIs. They got him batting third in the order in front of Albert Bell.
There's a chopper up the middle. Kennedy backhands and throws 1 out. Let's go back to that last inning with Pat Rapp facing Benji Gill. And there's Gill on the left, and Rapp, who has now thrown 86 pitches in the game, but 15 of them were to one man.
Wow. And look at, he was working Benji Gill, all of them on the outside part of the plate right there, Steve, and he finally got him in 88. There's the cutter all night long we haven't seen from Rapp, and it was a nice one.
And pitch tracks by Questec.com. Here comes Albert Bell. He's driven in 3 runs in this game, a sacrifice fly, and he rolled a 75-foot single that scored 2 batters in the second inning. 2 base runners, I should say.
Count was full, and they were running on the pitch, and Rich Amaral was second base, and man, did he bring the mail home, Steve. He was trucking.
Flying.
He almost caught Charles Johnson.
I mean, Benji Gill, when he reached the baseball, looked up, and Amaral was crossing the plate. There's a tapper down the line. Backhanded by Clark. There's the throw. What a play!
Albert Bell runs pretty well, but Glaus took his time and really loaded up on the throw. He has a cannon over there at third base. Bell gets down there pretty good. It's a two-hopper. 1-2. Now watch him gather himself and get a lot on the throw. That's a long throw in the infield, and Mo does a nice job of picking it. Here's another angle. Look at him. He's got to get on top, and he does. He throws it down there, and Mo does a sweet job of picking it.
He sure did. I guess that is rid and troll. Well,
actually, he didn't have to get rid of it very quickly. That was troll. That was full petrol.
Full troll.
That means petrol. Get some petrol on it. Ridden troll is when he has to get rid of it
quickly, yes.
With some petrol on.
Okay.
You're catching on, Steve.
You betcha. It's taken me a while. It's the Hudisms that I have to decode. Ooh, ball almost took apart Sam Perlaza, their third base coach. He and Wendell Kim might have the best marks from dugout to third base.
Oh, they always hustle. I asked him about that. I said, did you ever pull a muscle coming out of the dugout hustling like that? And he goes, yeah, I did one time, and I really had to go easy. The fans booed me the rest of the game. I couldn't come out full blast.
Beautiful pitch by Scott Schoenweiss. Last two innings, he has been outstanding, but he got help from his third baseman, who didn't have to rid it, but he had to troll it, and he got the out. Steve Physioc, Rex Hudler, and Billy McDonald here at Edison International Field. We're in the bottom of the fifth inning, and Darren Erstad will lead things off. Erstad takes curveball, strike one. Rapp back on Beam in the last couple of innings. As a matter of fact, the last time he allowed a hit to the Angels was Benji Gill's leadoff hit to start the second inning. And now he's in the fifth. He's walked one, but he erased that in a 3-6-3 double play.
Like most pitchers that get in trouble early, if you're a veteran, they settle down later. And that's what Rapp has done. Starting to get the groove of his pitches, working them on inside, outside part of the plate, but mainly he's missing down now, Steve. He's getting the ball down.
Erstad fouls it off left side. It is now 1-2. Darren and Troy Percival went yesterday to visit Kent Merker, and Darren said that Kent's smiling. It was great to see him laugh and doing well, but they still do not have an idea of why he had bleeding on the brain that last week. Again, the Angels without Ken Hill, without Kent Merker, without Tim Belcher, 3 starters, but Darren said it was great to see Kent smile. Can't wait to have him back. He's a great competitor, great teammate. Just missing. 2-2.
It's hard, Steve, sitting in a hospital room watching your team play. You know, I know it is with Kent. Just know that you're missed, being lifted up, and thinking about you every single day.
Erstad lines it foul, third base side, so it'll stay 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I
5-3 Baltimore.
remember I was with the Yankees one year, and I had an infection in my leg. I got a spike wound.
Erstad chases the off-speed pitch and strikes out.
I had a spike wound, and I was in the hospital for 3 or 4 days and with an IV in my arm, and I called up the Yankee clubhouse, and I talked to my good buddy Mike Pagliarulo. And I said, Pags, it is so lonely here, and I miss you guys so much. Would you please give me a sign when you come up to home plate for the first time? He goes, you got it, Hud. And he told me the particular sign he was going to give me, and he followed through. It was beautiful. It made me feel good.
We're not going to ask you what the sign was.
No, I'm glad, but
here's Adam Kennedy.
But it made me feel good that he didn't forget it, and you know, Kent, we're thinking about you, man. I know it's not easy.
Oh, not at all. But it's good to hear that he's feeling well. Now
Yes.
They just got to get to the bottom of it. There's a strike in the outside corner. They still haven't gotten to the bottom of Gary DiSarcina either. He returned from Chicago after a visit with a vascular surgeon there, and tests were negative, but Dr. Louis Yoakum going to study him a little bit more and study the results and recommend the treatment. Ground ball, Bordick. 2 outs. Hey, the Arena Football League is coming to Fox Sports Net. That means Todd Marinovich and the Avengers look to air it out against the Thunder Bears. That's Friday at 7 o'clock on Fox Sports Net. There's Desar back in the Angels dugout. Sure, Desar can't wait to find out. He just wants to know what the problem is, and then he wants to know how to rehab so he can get back in the lineup. There's Mo Vaughn. He goes after the first pitch.
Rapp trying to use that fastball on Mo, but he keeps it away and up in the zone to have him make some passes on it.
Mo takes. Well, usually on our Angels telecast, Steve Elkin is our producer, but pinch hitting tonight is Jeff Proctor. And Jeff Proctor pitched at Georgetown University and had to face Mo Vaughn when Mo was at Seton Hall. Mo swings and misses 1 and 2. To tell you how impressive Jeff Proctor was as a pitcher, Vaughn only had 1 hit in 7 at-bats.
Well, what's he doing behind the scenes out in the truck?
Well, John Valentin wore him out. Oh. Here's the 1-2, and it just does miss away.
Away, away, away. Don't want to miss inside on Mo. He'll make you pay, and he's hot. Pat Rapp doesn't look like he's tiring after throwing his 100th pitch right here.
Mo went around and strikes out, and how about that? 3 of the 4 strikeouts that Pat Rapp has in this game have come against the last 4 hitters. A beautiful evening here at Edison International Field in Baltimore with a 5-3 lead, top of the 6th inning. Scott Schoenweiss still on the hill after really having a rough first 2 innings, but he has settled down quite nicely.
Both pitchers have. Now stop the bleeding.
There's a ground ball. Hit to short. Benji Gill throws out Cal Ripken. Steve Physioc, along with the artist formerly known as Wonder Dog. Now you're going just by the name Bow Wow. No, I say that because Prince got his name back. He's not any longer the artist formerly known as Prince.
I'm not in his league. I'll tell you what, Steve, it's tough being in your league up here.
Here we go. B.J. Surhoff with 1 out.
I had another good story about Cal Ripken, and he had to swing at the first pitch.
Here's B.J., and he fouls it off, so Schoenweiss with 2 strikes.
You know, when you talk to the hitter, to the players before the game, well, you get a bunch of information, and you try to spread it out over the course of 4 at-bats. You know, so you don't want to unload all of your ammunition in the first 2 at-bats, so try to get it in.
And you know that he will be 40 in August, so you say, I only have an opportunity to say these stories for so long. And you've got a million stories about Cal. You played with him. You're part of his double play combination.
I was telling him today that I went ahead of him in the draft. I was talking about the Cal Ripken game when he broke through Garrett's record. I'm just now getting the ball I caught off of his bat, the bat he gave me after the game, and a picture Cal and I had made, all framed up in a beautiful frame.
That was consecutive game 2,131, came at Camden Yards. You said the evening was absolutely electric, and I remember watching it on TV, and it was just a great memory to have.
There'll never, ever be another game like that in the history of baseball.
And just watching the way he treated the fans, going around giving them high fives and saying thank you to the fans and his family. But he is such a huge part of Baltimore.
And I congratulated him, told him how proud I was of him, and he just smiled and shook his head and go away.
Well, there is ball 4 to B.J. Surhoff, so he works the 1-out walk. Rifkin's streak absolutely incredible. Started every game from 82 to 98. 8,243 innings. I saw a note where the Dow Jones went up from 82 to 98, 7,000 points, 700 points. Something. It was something incredible.
Well, there's a lot of records out there that say are untouchable, but I have to say that that's probably the one that's untouchable.
I agree.
He's the Iron Man.
And there was a time where Cal said they send the runner B.J. Surhoff. He had a huge lead, and he will steal second base. But there was a time where Cal said, you know what, I wasn't sure if I should have come out, if it hurt the club. Was I tired? And then he thought second, and he said, no, I think I did the right thing. I kept on playing, and that's what this game is about.
Well, imagine the pressure that goes along with
Yes.
that. I mean,
swing and a miss with Charles Johnson.
Nice slider. I mean, this year he's pushing to the 3,000 mark. He wants to stay in there and get the 3,000 hits. He gets the 3,000 hits early this season, and now for the first time he's playing free and easy, having fun playing baseball. There's no pressures on him to play the game streak, the 3,000 hits. He told me he's having more fun playing baseball now than he has in a long time.
Well, I remember during the streak there were like 4 times because of injuries where he almost took himself out. And on one where he had hurt his leg, he called home, talked to his wife, and said, you know what, I think this is the day. And she goes, oh, no, you're not going to take yourself out. And he goes, oh, no, not you. And the streak really he became really a prisoner of the streak as Charles Johnson lines out to Darren Erstad. Well, when Baltimore and Cal leave town, and they will head to Texas to take on the Rangers, in comes Kansas City. The Royals Friday through Sunday. Then they travel to Minnesota, to Kansas City, to Cleveland from May 23rd through the 31st before they come home to take on the Los Angeles Dodgers. We'll have Friday through Sunday's games on TV. 7 o'clock Friday, 7 o'clock Saturday, 1 o'clock Sunday afternoon. And now Rich Amaral, and he takes a strike. Friday, of course, is a great fireworks show. A wonderful group rate for groups of 25 or more. You can get half price group rates on the view level. Sunday is a Nestle Sunday. Saturday afternoon, a tribute by Moreno Valley High School for Troy Percival. And here's Rich Amaral, a guy you really admire.
He is one of my heroes, Steve, because he's persevered for so many years. 10 years of minor league ball, and going on 10 years in the major league ball. He's works hard. He's had a good attitude. He's kept his chin up. He's played for a lot of teams, and he contributes to the ball club any way he can. He played infield, outfield. He's really special, and tonight he's impacted this game big time. Got a base hit and scored on Albert Bell's 75-foot infield single from second base. And it's the little things that some players do that keep them around a long time.
Rich takes low and inside, 3-1. Now he's working the count against Scott Schoenweiss.
Probably the best tool a player like Rich can have is a good attitude, because you're not playing a lot and you can't pout. You got to go up there and do your job and cheer for your guys until your turn comes.
Ground ball hit to Glaus. It is off his glove, and they will send Surhoff, and he will score. Benji Gill, throw is not in time. It is a 6-3 ball game.
This was a sinker down low. Sinker down low, and Glaus tries to get it on the short hop. He can, and B.J. Surhoff heads up, just keeps on going. Never stops. Sam Palazzo keeps him coming. Orioles score another run to make it 6-3.
It's an error charge to Troy Glaus, and it is his 4th error in the last 4 games. Now Brady Anderson with 2 outs.
everything in baseball comes in bunches. He's kind of going through a little streak right now. Before that, he hadn't made an error in quite a few ball games. And all of a sudden, they're happening a lot. But like I said, Steve, he saves a lot of runs. He's always in the action down there at the hot corner, diving, making plays. So, you know, as long as as a fielder, as long as the run doesn't score, you don't really mind.
In this case, the run does score. And it's the 6th for the Baltimore Orioles. The Angels with all three in the first inning. And they're trying to keep Amaral close at first base. Anderson, meantime, at the plate with a single run scored. Sacrifice, he reached base on the play and struck out. Struck out looking in the 4th inning.
Brady Anderson grabbed his eyes and said, there's that outside pitch again. Rich Rieker rang him up on a called 3rd strike in his last at-bat in the 4th inning.
Anderson takes it outside. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Sean Weiss is going away with the slider and fastballs. Wants to keep it out of the happy zone. That's in the middle of the plate. Smart pitch, and Brady Anderson's got some pop.
Amaral does not go, and Brady checks his swing in time. It is now 2 balls and 1 strike. Angels came into this game with a record of 19-21, 2.5 games behind Seattle, and the Mariners still leading Minnesota 4-0. John Halama, who's pitched so well this year, trying to send his record to 5-0, as he has that 4-0 lead now in the 7th inning over the Twins. Amaral was leading. Sean Weiss brings it home, fouled off, 2-2. The one thing we have not seen in this game is power. Both these teams can provide it. The Angels with 60 home runs and 39 in their last 22 games. But the staff has given up more home runs in the American League with 64 allowed. Anderson can go deep, and he's got 6 home runs this year. Mo playing in front of that runner, Amaral.
Mike Bordick leads the team with 8 home runs. Cal Ripken's got 7. They got homers. They can hit them all through up and down the lineup. Charles Johnson with 6. B.J. Surhoff with 4.
And you haven't even mentioned the guy who will be leading them at the end of the year.
Albert Bell. He's got 5.
Will Clark's on the disabled list. He hopes to come back sometime in June. Harold Baines has a lot of power. Brady Anderson has had a 50 home run season in his past. 1996.
This is a veteran team, Steve, and when you have veteran hitters, they all know their pitch, and when they see it, they get it most of the time.
Runner goes, the pitch swung on, driven up the middle. Amaral races to 3rd of the play, and now runners in the corners with 2 out.
Brady Anderson hammered that pitch up in the zone right past Benji Gill, who was covering because Amaral was stealing. He wasn't able to glove it.
That's the first Orioles hit since the 3rd inning. But you're talking about the age of the ball club, and I mean up and down their lineup. Anderson's 36, DeShields 31, Surhoff's 35, Bell's 33. Cal will turn 40 August 24th. Conine's 33. Bordick's 34. Will Clark's 36. This is an old ball club. And what might happen if they're not in the race by July 31st?
Well, they'll start to move some of their players for some younger talent and start to rebuild. Because that's what you have to do when you have players that old. And Mike Hargrove was telling me that there's a few guys, you know, there's 4 guys on the team that are going to be free agents at the end of the year. Mike Bordick, B.J. Surhoff, and Charles Johnson. And there are teams out there that are very interested in these players. So what they'll do is they'll shop them around. The Orioles will shop them, and there's Shigetoshi Hasegawa getting ready. They'll have to wait and see how the ball club's doing late in the season.
Bordick takes inside. One more pitch, and the bases will be loaded for Delino DeShields. And Mike Scioscia saying, come on, Scotty, let's get going. Schoenweiss has really settled down after being roughed up in the first 2 innings.
Doesn't want to load the bases up here and give DeShields a chance with 2 outs.
Outside corner, 3-1.
Sometimes a hitter will get the green light 3-0. And Bordick, who's got plenty of power, decides he'll pass on that one. His outside corner. You only swing 3-0 if it's right down the middle.
He went around.
There's Schoenweiss, 2 identical pitches, all on the outside corner. Now he's shown him those 2 pitches away. Steve, if he has confidence in that slider, he could throw it right here, and Mike could fool Bordick, who's looking for fastball 3-2 here. Brady Anderson will be going.
Swings, and boy, did he hammer it. Almost hit one of our photogs in that well at the end of the Angels dugout. It ricocheted into the Angels dugout and almost got Keith Lualoa.
Woo! Gets in that hot corner down there. Bounces around, ricochets off those dugout walls.
In the air, center field, and deep. Garrett Anderson at the wall, pulls it down. Ooh, and a big sigh of relief from Scott Schoenweiss. His club's still in the game, but down by 3 to the Baltimore Orioles. Tim Salmon will lead it off when we come back. Baltimore with a 6-3 lead over the Anaheim Angels as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Scott Schoenweiss going 6 innings and giving up 6 runs, 5 earned. The last one in the top of the 6th inning did not belong to him. Troy Glaus with the error, his 4th in the last 4 games, scored the run from second base. Now Tim Salmon will step to the plate. Salmon fouls it back, strike 1. You know, there have been a lot of pitches fouled back. Pat Raff has been on the mound, and like you said, early he didn't have much movement. Now he's getting it.
Right, he's settled down. Got confidence. I mean, he's thrown over 100 pitches here in the 6th inning. But the Orioles have some action up this inning. He's done his job. He kept the Angels down. They had a big first inning off of him. Now he's settling in, and that outside cutter, that's what you get, a ground ball.
Salmon is the first out. And speaking of foul balls, let's go to Billy McDonald, who's with a happy fan.
Yeah, Fizz, you know, we're always looking for good and new talent. And David Moore from Westminster is here with his wife, Carlin. Back in the 4th inning, when Benji Gill was at the plate, we had one of the great catches of the year. I think we're going to get a chance to see it. David, unbelievable backhanded grab over the railing.
Thank you very much.
This is something that you do quite often, though, obviously.
Yes, this is my 20th foul ball in the last 4 years.
Think about that, folks. A lot of people have been coming to the ballpark for many, many years, never gotten a sniff. David Moore has 20, and I guess you're in a competition with your buddy up here in another section also, right?
That's correct, yeah. He hasn't got one this year. I caught one on opening day, and this is my 2nd this year.
Carla, you must be so proud.
Oh, I'm so proud.
All right, little reenactment. Quickly. There it is, folks. There it is. Rex, it's all good with Mr. Moore from Westminster. Let's go back to you guys. Good job.
He's got skills, Steve.
He gave it to us in slow motion also.
Give him a uniform, and let's see what he can do out on the field. Interesting. Billy Mack's everywhere.
He is the boss. Pat Rapp against Garrett Anderson with 1 out and a 2-1 pitch, and Garrett ropes it to right. Albert Bell there. And Albert will run it down for the 2nd out. So Rapp really has just really mellowed things out. He is getting guys out. He has given up just 1 hit since the 1st inning, and that was Benji Gill's leadoff single in the 2nd inning. And this is what veteran pitching is about. And to take nothing away from the Angels, but those are the young pitchers they have to work with. And that's where Scott Schoenweiss will be in a few seasons.
Takes time. And that's why Mike Hargrove was patient with Rapp in the first inning.
That ball hit a mile center field. Troy Glaus gone. Well, there's your second hit since the second inning.
They finally took the wrapper off the Rapp, and he left one out over. Glaus with that power made a deposit.
With that Angels home run, another $125 goes to Miller Brewing Company's Tools for Success program, awarding local technical graduates with the tools they need to join today's workforce. And there's the swing.
It's pretty inside out. That ball was down the middle. Normally he pulls that ball to left field, but he kept his hands in on that. Big guy like Glaus, he's going to hit it a long way.
425 feet in the tail of the tape, and Glaus with number 11 this year, second in the Angels. Mo has 13, and 6 of Mo's have come in the last 8 games. Here's Scott Speeze. Last time that Troy Glaus went deep, Speeze followed him with a home run and had won the game. This would pull the Angels to within 1. It's now a 6-4 ball game in the bottom of the 6th.
There's plenty of time for the Angels. And I don't know how much longer they'll go with Rapp. They've got a righty and a left-hander loose in that bullpen. Actually, 2 right-handers.
There's a strike at the outside corner, 2-2.
With 2 outs, Mike Hargrove likely will leave Rapp in to try to get an out here. There's Elrod Hendricks in the middle. Ellie, been with the Orioles his whole career, but Buddy Groom and Mike Trombley, a righty and lefty. I was right.
Speeze takes outside, 3-2. A 2-out home run by Troy Glaus has closed the Angel gap to 2 runs at 6-4. Still in the bottom of the 6th inning, plenty of time. Speeze gives that bat a tap, says let's go. Here's the 3-2. Foul out of play. One thing you love about Scott Schoenweiss is he is a competitor. He gives you everything he has. And he is a young pitcher in his first year as a starting pitcher in the big leagues. And there'll be some ups, there will be some downs. He had a great beginning at 4-0. He has given his club a chance to win. And there's a tapper to short. Kordick has been a vacuum cleaner over there at short, and he throws out Speeze. But Troy Glaus sends one out at 425 feet. Pulls the Angels to within 2. We have liftoff. 6-4 Baltimore, top of the 7th inning. Coming up right after the game, it's the all-new National Sports Report, the nightly show that gives you a complete wrap-up of all the day's sports news. And that means Major League Baseball scores and highlights, the NBA, the Stanley Cup playoffs, how the teams are doing, reports on how they'll do this weekend as the Lakers prepare to meet the Portland Trailblazers in round 3 of the playoffs. Scott Schoenweiss now will face Delino DeShields. Schoenweiss, after 6 innings, has thrown 102 pitches. And there is a fastball that just misses inside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
DeShields is used to leading off most every team he's played for, but Hargrove has him batting in that 3rd slot because he could do that.
And he lines it into the right field corner. DeShields will have at least 2, and he may not be stopping there. Yes, he finally puts the brakes on as Adam Kennedy was ready to fire to 3rd base where Glaus was ready to go. Well, we talked with Bud Black, the Angels pitching coach, before the ball game on what to really look for when Scott Schoenweiss gets tired.
Well, if his ball elevates in the strike zone, he's a sinker ball pitcher. Most of his outs are ground ball outs. Most of his pitches that he throws during the early parts of the game are down with a lot of down action. If we see that the ball is coming up in the strike zone or if they're flying out a little bit late in the game, we know that his ball is getting a little bit up and his ball is not sinking like it should.
Well, he got a pitch up to Delino DeShields, and he ripped it into the right field corner for a 2-base hit. Now Albert Bell will come to the plate. Buddy Black wants to know, is the right-hander ready? Because Bell, Conine, and Ripken are coming up. 3 righties.
He has recorded 7 ground ball outs in his last 4 innings.
He's thrown 105 total pitches. Hasegawa may have just told bullpen coach Bobby Ramos that he is ready. And now Mike Scioscia comes out. So Hasegawa sent the word, and the guys were on the phone, and Scioscia with a long, slow walk to the mound to give Hasegawa another couple of pitches.
That's right. Managers know the strategy, especially Mike Scioscia, being a former catcher. Wants to give the bullpen enough time to get good and loose. He'll have a little conversation with Schoenweiss before he asks for the baseball. And he'll make home plate umpire Rich Rieker come out and make him break up the rock pile.
But Scioscia already gave a lesson to Scott Schoenweiss, and I really like Scott Schoenweiss's future. The fact that he competes, that he has a natural sinking fastball, but he made 3 mistakes in this game, 3 mental mistakes that cost him some runs and an opportunity to win this game. But that's part of the growth. And he's a very competitive guy. I mean, he's a guy who admitted to me in spring training that last year was an emotional disaster, that when he was sent down to the minor leagues, he didn't handle it well. Very competitive kid, and that's one of the things that the coaches love about him. Kept his club in the game, but leaves down 6-4. Six to 4, Schoenweiss. Head to the showers, down 6-4, but he pitched 6 innings. And this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Anaheim Angels and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Angels.
Disseminate, spread, circulate, broadcast, publish, publicize, proclaim, dissipate, scatter, distribute, disperse, diffuse, abroad.
Which one are you going with?
I like the one I couldn't pronounce. Promulgate. I don't know.
I'd go with the broadcast. Well, speaking of not being able to pronounce, here comes Shigetoshi Hasegawa.
He'll work that fastball slider. Split finger. There's a shuto he just showed you right there. Shuto is a pitch, a Japanese call, and it's a running fastball. Hasegawa has settled down here in his last few outings and starting to keep that ball at the knees, hitting the corners. He's effective when he's down low, side to side.
Shiggy is 2-0 with a 309 earned run average over his last 9 games. After starting the year with a 14.7 earned run average, he will come on with Delino DeShields' terrific speed at second base. Albert Bell at the plate. Albert with a sacrifice fly and an infield hit that drove in 2 runs, 3 RBIs in the game. He was robbed of his first true hit by Troy Glaus on a wonderful play behind third base.
That nice slider on the outside part of the plate.
Well, DeShields at second base, you got the big guns up, and Bell and Conine and Cal. So DeShields may not be going, but you love stealing third base.
Yes, you don't want to make the first out or the last out at third, but it's easier. You can get a bigger lead and get a bigger jump. And look at Adam Kennedy at second base there, holding him on, staying close to him. You don't want him, if you play back in regular depth as an infielder, DeShields will get a big lead, and he might take a chance on stealing third anyway with no outs. But with Albert Bell hitting, he's an RBI guy. You don't want to make the first out at third. So Kennedy will hold him close anyway.
Hasegawa spun on that rubber, but Kennedy was still about 8 feet from the bag.
Look at those socks. Those socks are worn by DeShields like that to commemorate the Negro League players.
He is a big fan of their history. Guys like Cool Papa Bell and Satchel Paige. That ball stays high. 2 balls and 1 strike.
You're going to miss on Albert Bell, miss away. And now DeShields, he knows that Hasegawa knows he can steal, and that's what he wants. He's going, all right, I got his attention. Maybe he'll take his attention off of Albert Bell and leave a half-inch mistake out over the plate.
Albert pops it up right side. Long run for Tim Salmon. Tim near the foul line will make the catch. DeShields tags. There's the throw by Tim, and it's cut off. So DeShields goes to third base. An important run for Baltimore after the Angels shaved their lead to 2 in the last inning.
Check out in sync. Sam Palazzo, the third base coach, is going to tell DeShields, come on. Now watch him. He's his eyes for him. He's saying, stay right there. No, he's not directing airline traffic. He's going right on the base. Don't move. Because if he comes around and makes a turn, he could step off the base. They could throw behind him and get it out. But the runner cannot see behind it.
So now the danger is Jeff Conine, who's been on a hot streak. Has a couple of hits in this game. A double his first time up. And infield hit his second. Struck out looking against Schoenweiss. And the Angels bring the infield in. They want to keep this right here at 6-4. Conine chases an off-speed pitch. Strike one.
Hasegawa wants to keep the ball down low so Conine can hit a ground ball to one of those players playing in. They play in on the grass to cut the run down. Now DeShields, who was told by Sam Palazzo, the third base coach, what to do. The ball's hit.
To right field. This will get the run in. Salmon runs it down. DeShields tags at third. And 2 fly balls get him home from second base. To close the book on Scott Schoenweiss, he gives up 6 earned runs in the game. Baltimore with a 7-4 lead. Their lead back to 3.
That was manufactured runs by the Orioles. Orioles, there's a fly ball by Bell down the line. A leadoff double by DeShields, tags and goes to third. Then Conine brings him home with a sacrifice fly.
They say it's a strike to Cal Ripken. Nobody on, 2 out now. For the Mariners, it's a final now. Seattle beats Minnesota. John Halama gets the shutout. 4-0 the final. And Seattle also signed Ricky Henderson today, the all-time stolen base king. Well, let's see. I guess they could play him in left field. You got Buhner in right, Cameron in center field. And McLemore was going back from second base to left field. Stan Javier is playing a lot. That ball is struck well. Left center field. Garrett Anderson at the wall. He's got it. Cal gave him a scare as Ripken bidding for his 8th home run this year. The score right now is the Angels 4, the Orioles 7. Now for a look at what's ahead on the National Sports Report after the game. Let's go to the Fox Network Center.
This National Sports Report Sports Break is brought to you by Home Depot.
Hi, everybody. For the National Sports Report, I'm Tom Murray with this sports break. No brawls, no arrests, just baseball today at Wrigley. 3 runs in the 9th, win it for L.A., 8-6 the final. And the Rangers all over the Devil Rays, 11-6 the final there, despite 2 home runs, including a grand slam by the crime dog, Fred McGriff. News, scores, and highlights nightly on the National Sports Report right here on Fox Sports Net.
A lot early for both Baltimore and Anaheim, and a little late, and it's 7-4 Baltimore over the Anaheim Angels. Hey, are you a proud parent of a little angel? If so, the Angels and UCI Medical Center invite you to send in a picture of your baby angel. If he or she is selected as the baby angel of the week, his or her picture will be featured on the UCI website and will receive a special prize. Stay tuned for more information, but send in your pictures today. Now there's a beautiful baby.
Baby angel.
Oh, she got a little prize in the Jack-in-the-Box box. They were singing about Cracker Jacks in between innings as we're heading to the bottom of the 7th inning. It was a beautiful baby. Finishing off a little ice cream on a Wednesday night. Well, taking over for Pat Rapp, who's in line to get the victory if things stay as they are, is Mike Trombley. He had great success last year as the Minnesota Twins. has earned an average at 6-6, but mainly because of his last outing. On Saturday, he allowed 3 home runs and hit a batter to 4 batters faced. The Angels hoping that they'll see a guy out of control. But he drops a nice curveball in there to Benji Molina.
Fastball, curveball, forkball. 3-pitch pitcher, goes in the mid-80s, relies on his off-speed. The Angels are going to have to get some runners on and make something happen if they're going to win this game.
Fastball at 84 miles an hour. Misses away. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Now here's a guy, we were talking about how wild he was last Saturday in their loss to the Boston Red Sox. Molina sends a ground ball to Ryan Miner, who just came in for Cal Ripken, and throws out Benji Molina. There's Ryan at 6'7". He was Big 8 Basketball Player of the Year in 1996 at the University of Oklahoma. Averaged 21 points a game his senior year. And then drafted rather late for baseball, 33rd round, because he was drafted 2nd round by the Philadelphia 76ers. He tried that for a little while and then said, I think my future's in baseball.
But no matter what kind of future he has, he'll always be remembered as the guy who replaced Cal Ripken with a game streak.
You're right.
I asked him about that, how he thought about it, and he goes, well, I'm so young in my career, I'm trying to get established. I'm hoping I can put together a career half like Cal's, but, you know, I guess it is pretty cool.
Sure, he's part of history. Cal went 2,632 games before he tapped Ryan on the shoulder and said, you're in for me, pal, go get him.
And he said that he gets a hard time in Baltimore. Those people, you know, you can't do anything right because, you know, playing for Cal Ripken, it's not easy.
And who did Ripken replace to start his streak?
Lloyd Rayford. Sugar Bear.
The famous Babe Dahlgren replaced Lou Gehrig. Gehrig replaced Wally Pipp, who had a headache. Gehrig never left the lineup for about 15 years. Well, Benji Gill behind the count now, 1-2 to Mike Tremblay. I was talking about Tremblay's control. He was way off last Saturday. He gave up 3 home runs, hit a batter. Matter of fact, that was the only NCAA record he has ever had, and it was about his wildness. The only NCAA record that Tremblay set when he was at Duke University was hitting 5 batters in 1 game. And he still made it to the big leagues.
Never give up. He's throwing that forkball. There's a fastball, and he shows you the fastball at 85, and the forkball's like around 81. And it has this downward tumble to it. You can see him digging in his glove there, trying to show that forkball.
That's upstairs, ball 4, so he walks Benji Gill after getting ahead of him, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
So all the Angels needs a little bit of momentum, some life, a walk and a knock and a big fly, and they'll be right back in it.
So Tremblay now will face the leading hitter in the American League, Darren Erstad. His numbers right now are 374. Ivan Rodriguez went 3 for 4 for the Texas Rangers in their 11-6 win over Tampa Bay. And Ivan now hitting 377, so he has a 3-point lead on Erstad. He's behind in the chase for the 2nd time this week after David Segui went in front of him. How about that Texas offense? They have just been on fire this month.
Come alive. Pudge Rodriguez is a big reason. That guy, MVP last year, he hadn't missed a beat this year.
Erstad can reclaim the lead with a hit here. Barron takes low and inside, 2 balls and no strikes. And out comes Sammy Ellis to Tremblay, laboring again. Tremblay in his first year with the Baltimore Orioles after several with the Minnesota Twins, and all quality ones. As a matter of fact, he was their closer much of last year. He had 24 saves for the Minnesota Twins, and that's why the Orioles went after him to improve their bullpen.
Well, he has a fork ball, and a fork ball is like that. The pitcher splits his fingers on top of the baseball, and it has a tumbling action to the ball. The hitter sees it tumble. You can see his grip right there. Now he'll bring it to he'll show the hitter that, and then sometimes he'll change that grip in his glove to try to deceive the hitter.
Sammy Ellis wants a strike here. Erstad with a 2-0 count. Darren swings and rips it to right field. Gill had to wait for it to go through, and the Angels will bring the tying run to the plate here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Hey, tomorrow on Fox Sports Net, we've got Big Mac and the high-powered St. Louis Cardinals battling Scott Rowland and the Philadelphia Phillies. Scott Rowland went deep twice today as the Phillies beat the Cards 5-4. They'll match up tomorrow at 4 o'clock on Fox Sports Net. We've got a pitching change here in Anaheim, California. Mike Hargrove comes out, takes the baseball from Trombley, and with 1 out, Buddy Groom will face Adam Kennedy. Angels baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you in part by General Motors, makers of GMC trucks. By Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Did you know athletes can lose more than half a gallon of sweat per hour? Gatorade, is it in you? And by International Paper, from innovation to results. Steve Physioc, Rex Hudler, Billy McDonald at Edison International Field. It's seen a pretty wild one as the Angels trying to come back. A 7-4 Baltimore lead, bottom of the 7th. A 2-on base hit pass. Scott Schoenweiss, you bet he's interested. Would love to see that L taken off the board. As Buddy Groom comes out of the bullpen to try and quiet this Angel uprising. Gill is at second base. Erstad with a base hit at first base. And Kennedy takes inside ball 1.
And Buddy Groom is tough on left-handers, and Mike Hargrove brings him in these situations. He throws from the side like that, and he'll use a fastball cutter. Big kind of a sweep and curve he'll use as well.
Kennedy to right field. Bell is back. Warning track makes the catch. Gill tags from second, goes to third. And now he's going home as the ball gets away, and Benji will score. That is the second time in this series that the Angels have taken advantage of a Baltimore mistake.
Good heads-up play by Benji Gill. Albert Bell makes the catch, and he's going to throw it into his cutoff man, Delino DeShields. DeShields catches it and just went to throw it, and then he wanted a little indecision. He went to throw it and stopped the throw, and it scooped out of his hand and made a mistake.
And yesterday was Benji Molina, who came around third base and then just kind of watched the play and then broke to the plate. Benji Gill never really stayed at the bag. He came around, looked. When he saw that ball hit the turf, he just raced home.
And this point of the ball game, the Angels will take him any way they can get him.
No question. So Gill scores. Erstad still at first base. And what Kennedy really wanted to do, he wanted Vaughn to come to the plate, representing the tying run. You don't know how many more opportunities the Angels will have with the tying run at the plate. And Vaughn has been hot. The American League Player of the Week last week, hitting .393 with 6 home runs.
Mike Hargrove's team broke a 7-game losing streak last night here by 1 run, and now he's getting a little uneasy with a hit dog move on up there.
That's a base hit to right field. Erstad races for third. He is there safely. And now the tying runs are on the base pass with Tim Salmon coming to the plate.
Move on, swinging away, 3-0 count. Whacked it right by Conine. 3-0. He's looking to drive this pitch, and he got the top half of it. Conine took a little bit off it, just enough to get Erstad to third with 2 outs.
So here comes Tim Salmon, and Mike Scioscia has seen his right fielder labor on this homestand. Came in hitting 175 on the homestand, and on his first time up, doubled off the right field wall to drive in a run. He has walked and grounded out since. Tim takes a strike.
Buddy Groom throws that little cutter on the outside part of the plate. Good pitch to start Salmon off with. He'll sweep the curveball down and in around his feet, keep the fastballs away.
Fouled off right side, so Tim now behind the count, 0-2. Tim has 3 hits and 7 at-bats against Buddy Groom in his career.
Groom doesn't want to give Salmon anything out over the plate in this situation. 0-2, you don't want to give up a hit in this situation, so he'll probably try to bury a breaking ball down and in. Charles Johnson does a good job of blocking the plate.
Well, you have the most disciplined Angel hitter at the plate in Tim Salmon. Even through that struggling month of April, we were amazed at the discipline he showed to walk a number of times.
But he has really struggled coming up for big hits this year.
At one time in April, he was 2 for 28 with men in scoring position.
And look at Charles Johnson saying, keep this breaking ball down.
Salmon hits it down the line, foul. Boy, did you see where Minor was? He's almost standing on the line, and at 6'7", you'd think he'd be at least 5 foot off the bag.
Well, they don't want to give up any doubles in this situation here. Down by 2 runs, Mo Vaughn's the tying run. So they're going to cut the doubles off on both ends, both corners. Salmon broke his bat on that Buddy Groom breaking pitch down low. He'll go get another one and hope that that's got a big hit in it. At 1-2, he's still behind. We'll see where Charles Johnson wants this pitch located. Fastball away.
2 balls and 2 strikes. That's the discipline. That wasn't a good pitch to hit. It looked mighty close, but Salmon takes it.
That's a good pitch by Buddy Groom to try to get Salmon to swing at that pitch off the plate. Now, he showed him the fastball away. He might try to come inside again or stay away with a fastball.
He stays away and down. Now it's 3-2, and what happens here with a 3-2 count and 2 out, Mo Vaughn will be running at first base. If Salmon hits a gapper, this game could be tied.
Mo will really have to kick it in gear.
Tim takes ball 4, and the bases are loaded for Garrett Anderson.
The fans are feeling the comeback, and Hargrove is feeling some headache pain right now as he knows the Angels have the ability to come back, and they've shown it. This past homestand, 7 games, it's been, wow, they've come back. But look what Garrett does with men in scoring position, Steve.
And he's always been tough with the bases loaded. Garrett does not have the play discipline of a Tim Salmon, but when the bases are loaded, he knows that pitcher has to come for him. He's got Erstad at third, Vaughn at second, Salmon at first base.
So Groom will try to sweep that big curveball away to Anderson.
Garrett takes ball 1.
Doesn't want to leave the fastball up. Garrett Anderson loves the high fastball. Groom will try to keep it away, breaking balls on the outside part, fastballs inside.
Garrett swings and sends it to Delino de Shields. They get the force at second base, and the threat is turned back. It's 7-5. Orioles going to the 8th. Baltimore with a 2-run lead over the Anaheim Angels as we start the 8th inning. Coming up immediately after the game, it's the all-new National Sports Report, the nightly show that gives you a complete wrap-up of all the day's sports news. We'll take a look at the Giants-Braves game, Padres and Marlins, and the NBA playoff game that is the Knicks and the Heat with a 3-2 edge. And that playoff chase in the East. First pitch from Hasegawa is popped up by B.J. Surhoff. and collected by Benji Gill. 1 out to start the 8th inning. Something else you'll be able to hear about in that National Sports Report, Ricky Henderson signed with the Seattle Mariners. So they get the all-time stolen base king. Now, he caused some problems with New York. And, you know, Ricky, he'll want to play.
He needs 163 hits for 3,000.
And he also, his main goal is setting that all-time run scored record. Here's Charles Johnson with a man out, nobody on, 8th inning. Angels scoring a run in the 7th inning, but they left the bases loaded as Garrett Anderson was at the plate and grounded out to second base.
Hasegawa uses a fastball slider. A little bit of split finger occasionally.
There's a base hit to center field by Charles Johnson. You know, this is a time for the Angels that with all of the health problems they had last week, they were holding things together with some one-run games, but losing Ken Hill, losing Kent Merkers, we see Charles Johnson take one up the middle. It is a difficult time.
Which pitch tracks will show you was on the outside part of the plate, and CJ just reached out and stroked it up the middle.
This is a challenging time for the Angels, though, Rex, as they have to keep things together, just with the knowledge that the American League West is not the dominant division in baseball, that they could be in the race, and sometimes you have to hang with the losses.
That's right.
You see the growth, the young growth by Schoenweiss, by Washburn, by Dixon. The Angels will send those 3 pitchers back to back to back before Bottenfield throws on Sunday.
That's the thing that young players have a hard time doing. Letting it go. Learn from it, let it go.
Ken Hill. You saw Rick Smith working on Ken. Trainer's room earlier today. Ken doing whatever he can to come back. And he said right now there is no timetable. Still has a lot of pain. He has pain just lifting up his children.
He said sneezing, too.
That's low and outside. Rich Amaral with a count 2 balls and 1 strike. He has been on twice with a single and a run scored in the 2nd. Grounded out in the 4th. Reached on the air by Troy Glaus in inning number 6 that allowed a run to score.
Rich lives in Huntington Beach.
Former UCLA Bruin. He chases that pitch, and now it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. I remember reading an article called the Wild and Traveling Amarals when he was in the minor leagues. I mean, he's going from spot to spot everywhere. And what delighted me about the article was his wife. I mean, she said, I don't mind going all these places. It's fun. I'm seeing the world. She was seeing all places in the United States, just about every single minor league. But he hung in there, and he's had a very good career.
That's right. Coming into this year, he has 7 years and 129 days of Major League service. He's looking for that magic 10-year bell. He just got to hang in there, and he has a chance to, because every team needs a player like Rich. He was born in Visalia, California.
Played in Geneva, Quad Cities, Winston-Salem, Pittsfield, Birmingham, Vancouver, Calgary, all of those beautiful stops that you probably went through on your minor league tour in 10 seasons.
You know, I missed all of those.
Line drive that comes right to Adam Kennedy. He will throw to first base to get the double play as they were sending Charles Johnson on a hit and run. So we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Troy Glaus will lead things off for Anaheim. Angels baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you in part by Jack in the Box, where we won't make it till you order it. And by New York Life, the company you keep. Steve Physioc, Rex Hudler, Bill McDonald with you at Edison International Field. There's a Halo fan. That young lady brings more signs. Did you see the list right next to her? She had about 74 signs. and all of them with positive, uplifting statements.
Yes, she is a fountain.
Not a drink. And the fountain is in town. Troy Glaus comes to the plate. And Troy, in his last at bat, he launched one 425, 6th inning for Pat Rapp.
Oh, got his hands extended, stayed inside the ball, and went with it, and went up there on that green tarp.
Glaus, Speeze, Benji Molina, those are the 3 Angels that are listed to come to the plate in the bottom of the 8th inning. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
When the Angels came to town, Steve, they had lost 7 in a row, so they were due for a win. Now they got a 1-run victory last night, and now the momentum's building again. So they're going to be tough to knock off here late, especially Buddy Groom. He's very effective, going 88 to 92 miles an hour with his fastball. It's a cut fastball and a big curve.
Glaus just rips it into left field. Oh, he turned on that one. Amaral plays it off the wall, and Troy with a lead-off double to start the bottom of the 8th inning. So he's been on 3 times.
He hangs a curveball. Looks like that might have been a cutter. Glaus, nice form. Throws the head of the bat. Goes with that one. He just actually turned on it. And it's a track meet to second base. 16th double of the year. He's tied with Matt Lott, Minnesota Twins.
The Angels will see those Twins next week after they finish up this homestand against the Kansas City Royals this weekend. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, then go to Minnesota, KC, and Cleveland. And here is Scott Speeze. He takes strike 1. Speeze walked his first time up and grounded out his last 2 at-bats, but it's the first time in this game he's been batting from the right side. Chases the off-speed, nothing in 2.
Good pitch by Buddy Groom. That leaves it down and away after showing the fastball.
B.J. Ryan, Mike Timlin.
If Timlin comes in, he's anything like he was last night, it's over.
Awesome last night. Ball was moving.
Turn out the lights. He was fastball slider.
Speeze strikes out on 3 pitches against lefty Buddy Groom.
Buddy buried that breaking ball down in the dirt. It's a good pitch when you're ahead in the count. That's what the pitcher tries to do. Hard cutter down there low.
Glaus led off with a double. Now the strikeout by Scott Speeze. Molina takes outside, ball 1. Molina is 0 for 3 in the game, grounding into a double play with the bases loaded in the 1st inning. Flying out, grounding out, and he hits a high chopper towards 3rd. Ryan Miner bobbles it, and everybody's going to be safe.
These are the kind of breaks the Angels need. That's rule the base hit. They'll have a pinch runner as Keith Lualoa makes his major league debut, pinch running at first base for Benji Molina. Look at the high chopper. Ryan Miner just can't handle it. He knew he had to get to it quickly. That'll be a base hit. Lualoa gets on the major league field for the first time.
How about that? Well, Bubba Carpenter, did you hear about that young rookie last night for the Colorado Rockies? First major league at bat as a rookie at the age of 31. He hits an 11th inning game-winning home run. He said he was shaking running around the bases. He was unbelievable.
Oh, that's a beautiful thing. And Hargrove, he's going to his pin again.
Well, he's got a right-hander here in Benji Gill, but then 3 straight lefties. He's bringing in Timlin. Timlin with just 1 out in the 8th inning. We'll see how this works out as Mike Timlin, who was outstanding last night, comes out of the pen. Bottom of the 8th inning, Baltimore with a 7-5 lead over the Anaheim Angels, but once again the Angels have put the tying runs on the base pass. Baltimore brings out Mike Timlin from the pen, usually a 9th inning guy, but Mike Hargrove says the game's won or lost right here. I'm going with Timlin. 5.06 the earned run average, but very sharp last night.
Ooh, he was working that fastball slider. Putting it on the outside part of the plate, it was almost unhittable as he just mowed down the Angels in the 9th inning.
Well, he has not allowed a run in his last 4 appearances since allowing a home run and a single to the only batters he faced in the 9th inning, May 5th, against the New York Yankees at Yankee Stadium. Well, they've come out of the pen, and the Angels will also switch. They will send up to the plate Orlando Palmeiro, the Angels' best pinch hitter, to hit against Timlin, with Glaus at third, Luoloa at first. And the Orioles with the highest relief earned run average in the American League at 686, and they were absolutely torn apart by the Boston Red Sox. The pitching staff that gave up 35 runs in 4 games, and they only scored 6. Mike Hargrove will shift his defense. He wants Minor off the line about 2 more feet.
Palmeiro's a spray hitter. He's 1 for 7 off the bench this year, but he's come in a lot of situations and did the job.
Ball 1.
Whether he has to move a runner by pulling the ball on the ground or getting a sacrifice fly or dropping a bunt down, this guy does it time after time. Timlin fastball slider. Palmeiro likes it out over the plate. Anything you throw.
2 balls and no strikes.
Timlin's anywhere from 90 to 95 miles an hour. Throws hard.
Orlando takes outside, 3-0. So 1 more of those, and the tying run are in scoring position with Darren Erstad, the leading hitter in the American League, coming to the plate. There's Darren. 2 hits on the evening, 1 a double, 1 a single.
So you take a strike. Make him throw one.
Orlando walks on 4 pitches. So the bases are loaded for the Halos again. Erstad is coming up. Anaheim cannot complain about the opportunities that they have had. They had the bases loaded in the bottom of the 7th. Garrett Anderson grounded out to end the inning. They got the bases loaded, 1 out with their lefty swinging. Darren Erstad at the plate. Erstad goes after the first pitch, base hit left field. Here comes Glaus. Here comes the tying run, and the Angels have locked it up on 7.
Timlin was unhittable last night, but today is a new day, Steve, and the Angels are not going to go easy again. Erstad, first ball, fastball hitting, goes with the pitch. As that'll score 2, and Keith Luoloa scores his first Major League run, bringing the mail home.
His run ties the game, and for Darren Erstad, RBIs 25 and 26. Still just 1 out. Palmeiro, good speed second. Here's Kennedy, and he went a ripping on the first pitch, strike 1. Erstad now hitting .382 as he reclaims that batting lead in the American League. Ivan Rodriguez went 3 for 4 today. Kennedy, you see his numbers. Palmeiro with a critical walk. 7-7 ball game, bottom of the 8th inning. Kennedy takes ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike with Mo Vaughn waiting on deck. Quite a comeback for the Angels, who were down by 3 early, 3-0, then down 7-4 here late, and they've come back to lock it up at 7.
They've shown that they can come back with the long ball and with the small ball. Going, walking a knock and bunching a bunch of singles together. They have character, and they have shown the ability to come back. And there's an Angels fan that really shows it with that unusual hat.
Duct tape can work wonders. Kennedy flips it foul into the seats. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Did he chase a pitch that may have been out of the zone?
A little bit out of the zone, but you know, he's a contact hitter. He's looking to drive home the run.
Well, like so many of these young Angels growing up in the big leagues. Kennedy coming over in the trade for Jim Edmonds to St. Louis, and he has been a quality second baseman. Likely would have been down in the minors with St. Louis with Fernando Vina. 2-2 the count. Inside, and what a save by Charles Johnson. Where the go-ahead run is 90 feet away, and a fly ball, ground ball gets him home.
That's why he wears the gold, Steve. He's a gold glover, and look at this play. He uses all hands on that. He didn't use his chest protector. He caught that ball on the hop with his glove. And now Orlando Palmeiro is going to come over. A little whisper there from Ron Renicky, tell him what to do.
He wanted to make sure. I think Palmeiro said, you know what, I've been in this game long enough. I'm calling timeout, and I'm going to have him tell me right in my ear.
Better sure than sorry.
Absolutely.
Especially late in the game. 3-2 count to Kennedy, looking for the fastball.
And Timlin stepped off.
That's what the talk was. He wanted to know if they were coming, if they were running on the pitch. Now Renicky will go through some more signs.
Palmeiro does not go. Kennedy swings and misses, striking out.
Good pitch by Timlin away now. In steps one of the hottest hitters in the American League. The hit dog.
Mo Vaughn, 6 home runs in the last 8 days. Being the American League Player of the Week last week. Today is 1 for 4 with a base hit in his last at bat against Timlin. He's hit 2 home runs of his 5 hits.
Steve, he thrives for this moment right here. This is where Mo really focuses and concentrates, and he swings early in the count if it's there.
And he swings early in the count here. Strike 1 against Mike Timlin.
Timlin took something off of that. 87 mile an hour. Normally Timlin throws that ball in the low 90s to mid 90s. Mickey Hatcher's pulling for him. He doesn't have his rally hat on. Timlin's got a tough chore here with 2 outs. Palmeiro runs well at second.
Erstad lined a single to left field to tie it up, driving in 2 runs. Fouls it straight back now. 2 strikes in the batter.
The pitcher wants to get ahead of Mo, so he's going to come right after him. Mo Vaughn knows that. Been in the league a long time, so this is why Mo is always aggressive with men on base. The pitcher tries to get those first 2 pitches right in there. Mo's on him most of the time. Now it's tough. He's down the count 0-2.
Timlin came up and in. That's usually what they do with Vaughn, a 0-2 count, because he stands so close to home plate. If you miss away, I mean, he is so far on top of home plate that he can reach across the plate and get a base hit.
He just flicks it to left field. He knows all he needs now is just a lousy single.
Vaughn takes upstairs. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 more of those, and then the Angel base runners will go. So here's the money pitch by Mike Timlin. 2-2 the count. Vaughn at the plate. Mike Hargrove at one time led 3-0. Later 7-4, but his bullpen has given up the lead. We are all tied at 7 in the bottom of the 8th inning. Vaughn chases the off speed and just does foul it.
Staying alive, just got a piece of it. Palmeiro with 2 outs wants to make sure he gets a good secondary lead. He can try to score. Mo gets just a little piece of that ball.
If it's held on to by Charles Johnson, it is strike 3. CJ just could not hold on, giving Vaughn another chance. Timlin again with the 2-2 count, with 2 out and 2 on, bottom of the 8th inning. Pounded back. Challenged him inside and up again.
That Mo almost fouled that ball off his fingertips. That's how close that ball was to his hands. So Vaughn's fouling some pitches off here, staying alive.
Way inside. Another great block by Charles Johnson.
Johnson is very aggressive back there. He pounces on this ball. He knows he doesn't want those base runners to get any closer. Watch him. Good form. Look at him turn that glove over. And so as the glove goes, his body goes. He tries to stay in front of it, does a nice job of keeping it right there, and the runners can't advance.
4 straight from 95 to 98. He knows he has the guy at the plate who has had more power production against the Orioles than any other club he has faced in the big leagues. 32 home runs against Baltimore. Runners go, pitch swung on and missed, strike 3. So Vaughn strikes out, but the Angels come back to tie it on Darren Erstad's clutch hit to left field. 7-7 ball game as we head to the 9th inning here at Edison International Field. Steve Physioc, Rex Hudler with you, and Troy Percival comes out of the bullpen to throw for the Anaheim Angels. Keith Luolo, though, he scored the tying run, and now, well, he's got to be a little bit nervous. Here's a 25-year-old shortstop making his major league debut, and he comes on in a 7-7 ball game. You can't get much more tension than this in the 9th inning here, Rex.
Well, he's got a good attitude. I've spent a lot of time with him in spring training. He just joined the Orioles. Joined the Angels when I was with the team in '96. So I got to know him. He's a tough kid. He's been waiting for this moment for a long time. So he's telling himself, hit that ball to me.
Matt Wahlbeck comes in for Benji Molina. Molina, who reached on the infield hit in that last inning where the Angels scored 2 runs as Darren Erstad laced one past the shortstop, Mike Bordick, into left field. He scored. Halos have tied it at 7. They hand that baseball to Troy Percival.
Fastball, curveball, changeup. He'll use all 3 now. He's getting confidence in there as he starts him off with the curveball.
And the batter, Brady Anderson. Percival rarely in a tie game, but really, he needed some work. He has not pitched lately. The Angels have had a ton of close games. Percival has closed them when he's been in there and saved them. Brady fouls it straight back, a 94-mile-an-hour fastball on the inside on the hands.
You have to look for fastball off a hard-throwing guy like Percival. Can't go up there. He won't throw his curveball as often or his changeup. But he has shown the ability in games this year, Steve, to throw more curveballs and changeups instead of his fastball.
Well, he hasn't pitched since last Thursday. He's ready.
He's going to be coming in there with that cheese, and you've got to look for it as a hitter. And then adjust to the breaking pitch with 2 out or 2 strikes.
Brady swings and sends it to left center field. Erstad races over and makes the catch. Percival pitched 1 inning May 11th last Thursday against Texas, posting his 10th save of the year in 11 chances. Ranked tied for 2nd in the American League. Now he'll go against Mike Bordick. And Bordick got a game-winning home run off Percival last year. Also had a game-winning RBI single in the bottom of the 9th, May 2nd against the Angels, and that came off Percival. Sean Weiss started that game.
Bordick knows to look for the fastball. He can handle it.
So he gives him curve away 1-1.
But if Percy can keep that 94-mile-an-hour fastball at the knees, it's going to be hard to touch.
He drives curve again. It's 2-1.
Since he hasn't pitched since Thursday, last Thursday, he's probably having a hard time, as you can see, getting that curveball over.
So he throws fastball, misses high, 3-1.
Can't afford to put anybody on. He's got a high leg kick, and he's easy to steal off of.
Ball 4. So Percival walks Mike Bordick on a 3-1 count, and now will face Delino DeShields. DeShields is 1 for 4 in the ball game with a double and a run scored in his last at bat in a game to lead off that 7th inning. And he gave them that 3-run lead back, but the Angels came up with a run in their half of the 7th and 2 more in the 8th to tie it. Shields a tough man to double. He has very good speed. Ball 1. Percival's only blown save this year came against these Baltimore Orioles. And that night we talked about, May 2nd, Bordick knocked it in.
And Matt Walbeck is going to come out and have a chat with Percy. Try to help him. Maybe he sees something in his mechanics.
It's 6 straight that he's thrown out of the zone.
That's right. Bordick has 4 stolen bases in 2 attempts, or actually he's been caught 2 times.
He goes. Here's the throw. They got him. Oh, what a tag by Adam Kennedy. Walbeck got rid of it very quickly, skipped it to Kennedy, but Kennedy blocked the bag and snapped the tag down.
Watch DeShields try to help Bordick with a big bunt. Now gets rid of it quickly. Now it's where he puts it. It was just perfectly located, and he never got to the base because Kennedy dropped the gate on him. Look at the knee. Everything's in front of the base. He's saying, you're not getting there.
This kid gets better and better. Walbeck has been like Benji Molina. I mean, he has been gunning out would-be Steelers right and left, 8 of 14, and that's a big one. 8 of 14 by Matt Walbeck. Wow. You remember Socia in spring training? He was working so closely with the catchers, and here is Delino DeShields walking, so now that plays a huge play with 2 outs, and DeShields could very well be going right here.
Well, they're going to go. It's the 9th inning. You want to get that runner in scoring position.
But I think Mike Socia's work in spring training, I mean, Matt Walbeck told us that he has never worked as hard in spring training with all the drills that Socia put him through, because he said, we're going to need 2 catchers this year, and you guys will play a lot.
There's no doubt about it. Socia's made a huge difference. They're going to try to keep Delino. Watch this now. I call it dropping the gate. You can see out of your peripheral vision that the runner's coming head first. Look at the knee right there. See the knee and the foot? Bordick never got to the base. And you can see that he applied the tag.
DeShields goes, and he will have the stolen base. So now the go-ahead run is at second base with Albert Bell at the plate. And Troy Percival really laboring with his control. He got Brady Anderson to fly to left. He has walked Bordick, walked DeShields, and now faces the dangerous Albert Bell. It was just a home run waiting to happen.
But DeShields has been very effective stealing bases, and he wasn't going to waste any time.
In there. How about that? 1 ball, 1 strike. Percy says, well, if I can't control the fastball, let's see if I can get that curve back over.
You know, the reason they're stealing off Percy because he has such a high leg kick. But against Percival, 2 for 7, 2 home runs. And that's when Albert Bell was with the Cleveland Indians.
Upstairs, Delino DeShields steals third base. So he now has 14 stolen bases this year.
just walked in there. In case there's a wild pitch or something, he'll be able to come on home. So DeShields' legs are feeling good this season. He's going after it.
Up high, ball 3. Percival has just been all over the plate. This is a guy you can't afford to make a mistake on. Jeff Conine will be next, or could be next. The 3-1 pitch, and Bell takes outside ball 4. So 3 consecutive walks by Troy Percival in the bottom of the 9th inning. Mike Scioscia saying, hey, 2 outs, fellas. Let's get this hitter right here and go get him in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Steve, Troy is not as effective when he comes in a non-save situation. I mean, I don't know if it's mental or what, but, you know, he comes in, a tie score, you know, he's not as amped up. He's not as, the adrenaline's pumping, but not as much.
Well, I think it has probably more to do with the fact that he's had 6 days off. Now another runner goes, and the ball popped up by Jeff Conine. Is there enough room for Matt Wahlbeck? No. Grabbed by the Yankee.
So Albert Bell was taken off on Percy as well. They're just running all over the place. Conine, a good fastball hitter. He'll be looking for it.
He'll let Bell go, and he goes. And the pitch way high. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Curve looks like to me he's overthrowing the curve. Therefore, it's not breaking like it should. You got to take a little bit more off of it, and it has more of a break to it. But he hasn't pitched in a while, almost a week.
Goes fastball. Conine lifts it in the air. Garrett Anderson says he has it. He does. And the inning is over. Percival labors terribly, but does not give up a run. He walks 3 in the inning. And Jeff Conine saying, man, I had my pitch, and I fly out to center field. Darn. 7-11-2 for Baltimore. 7-10-1 for Anaheim. We're in the bottom of the 9th inning. Let's check out our game summary. Let's go back to the 8th inning when Darren Erstad tied it up, lacing a single to left field that scored 2 runs. Our Jack in the Box game summary. Erstad 3 hits in the game, his 22nd multi-hit game. Tops in the American League. Glaus hit his 11th home run. Schoenweiss will get a no decision. 6 earned runs in 6 innings. And the Orioles 5 runs in the first 2 innings. But then quiet. And just 1 more run later. 2 runs later, excuse me.
Percy was all over the place last inning. Maybe he can settle in this next one. And pitch tracks. Wow, look at all of that, Steve. 21 pitches, and they were all over the place. But Percy's hadn't pitched in a while, and that's probably the reason.
So he wants to be the vulture tonight. Come in,
get the win.
Somehow get out of that 9th inning, and then have Salmon, Anderson, or Glaus give him a high five with a victory after the ball game.
And that's the term players use for a guy who comes in and pitches an inning or 2 and gets the win. A vulture.
And here's Tim Salmon going after the first offering by Mike Timling and fouling it off. Strike 1.
And the term that players will use for a pitcher who is scheduled to get the loss, you know how a fish will spit the hook? They'll say he spit the hook.
Spits the L out. Salmon, you might remember that game against Tampa Bay a few weeks back. 13th inning we went, and Tim came up to lead off that inning and hit a solo home run over the left field wall back on April 29th. The Halos went home happy, evening that series at 2 wins each. Tim takes upstairs, 2 balls and 1 strike. Timlin came out of the bullpen, walked Palmero. That was critical, and that loaded the bases. Erstad then sliced a single to left field. Mike threw 19 pitches in the 8th inning. Salmon fouls it off. 2-2. He was a little late on that pitch. Fastball away. Salmon doubled his first time up off the right field wall. Drove in an Angel run as they scored 3 in the first inning. Upstairs, 3-2.
Salmon will be looking for a fastball here out over the plate. But he's very patient. He's got 2 walks tonight.
And he has another walk. A very patient Tim Salmon getting on base. That's the game-winning run as Garrett Anderson and Troy Glaus will be coming up.
Salmon is a situational base stealer. Won't run a lot. He's tried this year. He hasn't stolen any. He's been caught twice. You never know. Sosha might try to send him.
Garrett Anderson bounced into a 3-6-3 double play in the 3rd inning. Grounded out with the bases loaded in the 7th inning. He shows bunt. He gets the bunt down, and it's a beauty. Charles Johnson only play first base, and how about that?
Well, that is doing the little things from a big man. He's a number 5 hitter. He gets paid to drive in runs, and now look at him showing the ability to bunt. This is a great bunt by Anderson. Moves Salmon over. Now, earlier in the season, there was a sacrifice situation, and Mike Sosha said he wouldn't ask Garrett Anderson to bunt because he wants him to drive in runs. And that's his first sacrifice bunt since August of '98.
Wow.
He does it in a big situation right here to pay off for the Angels. They're going to intentionally walk Glaus to set up a double play situation.
And as hot as Glaus has been, you have to like this situation. A smart move by Mike Hargrove, because Glaus on this homestand better than 400, and his last 2 at-bats in this game have been a 425-foot home run and a double that he just laced into the left field corner. So it'll bring up Scott Speeze, who's the hero on Mother's Day. He won the game in the bottom of the 9th inning with 1 out. Hitting it over the Gene Autry side with Gene with that big smile in right field.
He'll get another chance. Look at him thumbing through the papers. There it is, shuffling. Sam Ellis, Jeff Newman, bench coach. They're all checking him out, looking at the stats. And what they're checking out is what is Physioc, what's he hit off Timlin in the past. What are the numbers?
We don't want to defend this guy against Timlin's stuff. Game winner against the Texas Rangers, a home run over the right field wall that the Angels went home victories. 7-6 victories.
Salmon at second base will be working on getting a good secondary lead. And what the secondary lead is on the pitch, he gets a little bit more. Gives you an extra jump to try to bring the mail home with a winning run.
Speeze cracks it to center field. Brady Anderson comes on. Here comes Salmon. The throw to the plate. Not in time. The Angels win. Sunday and Wednesday. There's your Gatorade player of the game. Erstad with a tap on the helmet of Scott Speeze, who comes through with his second game-winning hit this week.
And here it is. He's aggressive. Looks like a fastball down. Hits it off the end of the bat. Takes enough off of it, enough to allow Salmon to bring in that winning run. Brady Anderson with a nice try on the throw, but it's just going to be a little off. There's the bench saying, all right, we've got another one.
Garrett Anderson with a critical sacrifice bunt in that inning, setting the stage for Scott Speeze's heroics. The Angels win it 8-7, split the series, 1 win each. So for my partner, the Wonder Dog, Rex Hudler, I'm Steve Physioc saying so long from Edison International Field, where the final score is 8-7 Anaheim. Be sure to join us again Friday, May 19th, as the Angels host the Kansas City Royals. Coverage begins at 6:30. You've been watching Angels coverage on Fox Sports Net. Now we take you to the Fox Network Center for the National Sports Report.